Freedom, man. That's what it's all about. You've got to groove on freedom, like the good book says.
Welcome. You are listening to What on Earth is Happening. This show will discuss the topics of human consciousness, mind control, natural law, the occult, and all issues that affect the freedom of the people of Earth. What on Earth is Happening will endeavor to shine light upon the darkness of our world and to offer empowering solutions to the problems we face as humanity approaches its critical moment of choice. And now, here is your host, Mark Passio.
Welcome one and all. You're watching What on Earth is Happening. I'm your host, Mark Passio. My website, whatonearthisHappening.com. Ladies and gentlemen, government is slavery. And here on What on Earth is Happening, we are ending slavery one mind at a time. Welcome one and all. Thank you for tuning in today. Today is Sunday, April 10th, 2022. This is episode number 250 of What on Earth is Happening, a milestone show. So thank you for being here today. And as always, What on Earth is Happening is a cumulative show. This is cumulative information. So if you are a new viewer or listener to What on Earth is Happening, you should not begin here. You should go back to my website, whatonearthishappening.com, to the podcast section. And you should listen to the podcasts in order, starting from number 1 and proceeding through the podcasts in order at your own pace. That is how you'll gain maximum benefit, because there is prerequisite knowledge in earlier podcasts for understanding later podcasts. It's a stepwise progression, folks. So don't take it out of order, or you will be somewhat confused and possibly even lost in your understanding. So we don't want that to happen. So I'm going to keep re-emphasizing that every show. We're going to do an all call-in show today with your calls coming at us for the duration of the show. We're going to take calls through the Discord platform. And for the last 4 weeks, we've been doing an extended breakdown, an extended revisited version of the fake-ass Anarchist presentation that I originally delivered at the Seed 4 Growth Conference last year. So I felt that the topic was so important. I've been covering that for the last month, and today we're going to conclude that topic by taking your calls on anything that you want to discuss regarding that extended version of fake-ass Anarchist that I've delivered here on What on Earth is Happening over the past 4 weeks. I'm going to jump over to my slides and just take care of a few housekeeping announcements. Thank you to Will Keller for the artwork for the show today. Again, this is the wrap-up of Fake Ass Anarchists Revisited, an all call-in show. So your call's coming up soon. We're on a streamlined format with me simply producing at my desk without a crew. Again, once I really know what my living situation is going to be over the next few months, at some point we may go back to a full show format. Maybe we'll stay in this format for the duration of this season of What on Earth is Happening, and then go back to the full format next season. But we're on a streamlined format right now on a 6-month on, 6-month off schedule. That's probably going to be permanent, because I'm going to take the second 6 months of every year to teach the How to Become the True Media seminar and focus exclusively on that. So What on Earth is Happening will be live every Sunday from January through June. And then the second half of the year, How to Become the True Media. Enrollment is open for How to Become the True Media 2022. We opened enrollment on April 1st, Friday, April 1st. And enrollment's been going great. Slots for the seminar are filling up, folks. So I would not wait to put your enrollment in, your enrollment donation, because we are going to cap this seminar at a certain number of seats, and we are approaching that very quickly. Now, we're not there yet, obviously, but many enrollments have already come in, and we're also, I'm also scholarshiping some people into this who I personally want to take the seminar, and I'm going to offer scholarships for people who I think should be in the seminar, like content creators on the One Great Work Network. So there are also scholarship seats in the seminar that fill positions, slots in the seminar. So it's not all just people who donated to enroll. So keep that in mind. Those slots are going to count toward that total number, and we're going to fill up the space in this seminar rather quickly. I just want people to know that, so they don't get, closed out of the seminar should we hit that number, relatively soon. So just putting that out there. How to Become the True Media is an online technology skill sharing seminar hosted by myself on the Telegram platform. We did this on Zoom for the past couple of years, but we're switching over to the Telegram platform this year. It's 23 weeks, one class session per week for 23 weeks. Every Monday evening from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern U.S. time, starting Monday, July 11th, and ending Monday, December 12th, 2022, for a total of 23 class sessions. Internet enrollment for this seminar will close on July 4th, 2022. Mail-in enrollment, because we are also accepting mail-in enrollment donations through check or money order this year, something we have not done previously. But if you enroll via mail order, you will have to get your check or money order to me by July 1st. July 1st is the cutoff for the reception of your check or money order, meaning you have to mail it before then, and it has to arrive at the mailing address we send you upon request by July 1st, 2022, or we cannot accept any mail-in enrollments after that, because we have to wait for the check or money order to clear, and it would be very chaotic doing that last minute of the last week. Also, I want to say, for people who have enrolled, we are sending you the next steps, instructions on how to actually get into the Telegram group where the seminar is going to be hosted. So once you enroll on gifts through any of the enrollment methods, we're then sending you the next steps by the email that you enrolled using the email that you used to enroll in the seminar when you put your information into the gifts area. So please be aware, we have sent you next steps to follow. Most people have already done this and done it correctly. But if anyone is having a problem with the next steps, please do not wait. Contact us now. We want to get you into that Telegram group, because we don't want to be doing this last minute. It will get ultra chaotic for us. So if you have already enrolled in the How to Become the True Media 2022 seminar for July through December of this year, and you have not yet completed the next steps that we sent you to get into our Telegram group, please do that immediately. And if you are having any problems, if you had any problems receiving those next steps, contact us with the email on the website, howtobecomethitruemedia.com. It will be info@howtobecomethitruemedia.com. Or get in touch with us if you need help. If you have any technical problems getting into the Telegram group, setting Telegram up on your desktop or laptop computer, if you have any problems doing that, get in touch with us. We will help you through it now rather than later. We don't want to be doing this the last week before the seminar and having a million people not have their setup done correctly and be in the group correctly. Okay, because we're going to give you that link to join the group, and then we have to approve it. Okay, we have to see that you've requested to join the group. We check that you're enrolled, and then we approve, your invitation, your private invitation to the group. So we need a little bit of leeway time to do that. So we're asking up front, don't wait for the last minute to do that. Make sure that you follow the next steps as soon as possible after receiving them, so we know everything's going to go smoothly for you when you enter the seminar group. Just wanted to put that out there and make sure people know that they should be staying on top of that and getting into the group as soon as possible after they have enrolled. So for more information on this year's How to Become the True Media seminar, visit howtobecomethitruemedia.com. I want to say that I'm going to place even more little caveats on the site to make sure that people know which enrollment donation methods are accepted. Now, I just want to step out of the presentation briefly and show you this because I think it's important. I really need to start making this clear up front. So I'm going to go on the gifts area. Front end. Let me make this full screen very quickly. This is What on Earth is Happening donation gifts. I'm going to just go to categories here on the right-hand side, and I'll hit True Media Technology Seminar. And here is the item where you enroll. Now, I think what I'm going to do is right here in the description, I'm going to reiterate, these are the donation methods accepted for enrollment, and just list them right at the top, right here, even before I describe the seminar, okay? Because people are still a little bit confused and having problems and thinking that I accept donation methods that I do not. So I may reiterate this every week until enrollment closes. It should be very understood that I do not accept credit cards or debit cards on gifts. I only accept some limited internet donation methods, which are Cash App, GPay, and Wise. I have been banned from PayPal, so I do not accept PayPal anymore. I've been given a life ban on PayPal. Okay, so please do not request payment through PayPal. I am unable to take any enrollment donations through PayPal, and I replaced PayPal with Cash App, GPay, and Wise. So I can accept those three methods while I have them, if I'm not banned from them at some point in the future. And then I accept 5 different cryptocurrencies, namely Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, Ethereum, and Dash. I may in the future even be doing away with Bitcoin Cash because it's becoming more and more unwieldy of a crypto platform. It's a shame that is the case, but that seems to be where it's heading, the way that Bitcoin SV went shortly after they forked. And Bitcoin Cash seems to be having a lot of blockchain problems, a really long time to confirm transactions and to send anything through it. So I don't know how much longer I'm even going to keep accepting Bitcoin Cash, but for now I do. So there's 5 crypto methods. And then if you scroll down here, you will see that at the near the bottom, it says if you wish to enroll in this seminar by personal check or money order, it must be received by July 1st. Please send us an email using the following link, and please do not change the subject line. You can click this email. It will open your email client program. It should even open your web browser if you use Gmail or Yahoo or whatever. And it will allow you to compose an email. It'll even put the subject line and even put a body in the message for you if you use an email client. And you could request the mailing address that way. We do that so we get your information, your email, before we send you the mailing address. And if you want to enroll via check or money order, many people have already taken us up on that option and have enrolled that way. So that's been going well. And if you do want to do that, you could just click that email link right there. We have that also on the main page, should you want to enroll on the website. If you want to simply click the email that says, if you wish to enroll in this seminar by personal check or money order, please send us an email using the following link. You can click that one. It will do the same thing. So I just want to show people that. I'm probably going to put right here at the very top, right underneath the product code, because this is where the description of the seminar starts right here. I'm going to put above that, we only accept these donation methods for enrollment. And it will have on there Cash App, GPay, Wise, Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, Ethereum, Dash, personal check, and money order. We accept 10 donation methods. That's an extreme wide variety of options that people have to get enrolled in the seminar. 10 different individual donation methods. So people are not confused and don't understand. We don't take credit cards. I'm not a business. There's no incorporation of What on Earth is Happening. It's the name of my website and nothing else. It's the name of my educational outreach effort. It's not a business. I don't have a merchant account. I don't have an LLC. I don't have a DBA. I don't have a 501c3. I will never have any of those things. I'm not asking the government for permission to educate people publicly. I don't need permission to do that. This is a individual educational outreach effort. That is what on Earth is Happening always has been, is now, and always will be. So don't ask us to take credit cards, debit cards. We have 10 donation methods that we're accepting for enrollment, and that's all it will be. So I'll even put that in maybe big red lettering right there on the enrollment item in gifts. I think that will probably help to clear up people's misunderstanding. At least I hope that it will. So that being said, let's jump back into my housekeeping announcements. Let's jump into windowed mode here as well. There we go. All right. So, moving on. I am still running a clearance special on all t-shirt designs in What on Earth is Happening donation gifts. You can go to gifts.whatonearthishappening.com to take advantage of that clearance special. People have really been buying up t-shirts. I mean, they have been, we're almost out of these things, okay? So, I would say maybe another couple weeks to go on clearing out the shirts. Then I'm going to put in a new order with some of the traditional designs and maybe a new design. We'll see. But all t-shirts are heavily discounted. Short sleeve t-shirts are discounted over 50%, approximately 51 to 52%, and long sleeve t-shirts are discounted over 40%, about 41% discount on those. So take advantage of this clearance special while it lasts. It's not going to last too much longer. I think I checked and we had maybe about a dozen men's shirts left and maybe about 25 or so women's shirts left. And that's it. Then the shelves are clear. And then I'm going to put in a new order for a bunch of shirts. So, gifts.whatonearthishappening.com, ladies and gentlemen, to take advantage of the t-shirt clearance special we're running. Definitely check out the One Great Work Network if you haven't already. And if you haven't bookmarked it in your browser, do so. It's running pretty strong, onegreatworknetwork.com. We just onboarded 3 new people this week. One of them has already created content and is on the site. So we now have 61 content creators live at onegreatworknetwork.com. Definitely check it out. Support the content creators. They all have their own individual donation button next to their avatar. When you click their main avatar to go into their blog, you'll see all of their content will be there underneath their bio and social media links. And then also you can click the green button underneath their avatar to donate directly to content creators. I specifically built this network so the content creators who are teaching natural law and objective morality and teaching information about what is really going on in this world, specifically so they could not only be noticed by people and get the recognition that they rightfully deserve, but also to help them get resources through donations. So that is what this website is there to do. Please do use it as such and help support these great content creators who are making incredible content on the One Great Work Network. So check that out, onegreatworknetwork.com. The What on Earth is Happening IPFS project is still ongoing. We haven't had the kind of response that I would have liked to have seen, and I think a big part of it is that people don't take technology seriously and don't take it as seriously as they should. So I don't know if we're going to hit the goal. I wanted to get 10 nodes up live on the IPFS network by the end of the year. It's going to look like it's going to be difficult to do that based on the pace that this is going. So the main prerequisite is you have to have an internet connection really capable of running an IPFS server. So we're capping that at 200 megabits per second in the upstream direction. So people who have a 200 megabit or greater connection in the upload direction qualify initially to take part in the IPFS project here. So if you don't have that, don't even bother. But if you have that and you want to help serve all of the What on Earth is Happening material from day one, just every aspect of it, all my interviews, all my shows, all podcasts, all presentations, all slides, etc., the body of my work, the totality of it. We are trying to get this up as multiple nodes on the IPFS network to completely censorship it once and for all. And censorship proof it once and for all, I should say, to make sure that this cannot be taken offline and it will exist in a distributed fashion in what is called the permanent web. So if you want to help with that, you can read more information on whatonearthishappening.com/IPFS. And if you want to take part in the project, you can fill out the form. You will get a PDF document back that you can download and read about the preliminary requirements to join the project. If you do not meet them, please don't request to do so. But if you do meet them, then get in touch with us and we will get you started with what you're going to need for the What on Earth is Happening IPFS project. So for the last 4 weeks, I have been investigating the topic of fake-ass anarchists. We have revisited it in an extended format presentation over 4 weeks here on What on Earth is Happening. We called that Fake-Ass Anarchists Revisited. Today we're going to be taking calls on this topic. And, if you want to go into any other topics that we've talked about here on What on Earth is Happening, I guess that's fair game too. But in general, I'm opening up the phones for specifically some of the topics and philosophy that I talked about during the Fake-Ass Anarchists Revisited shows over the last month here on What on Earth is Happening. Again, I originally gave this presentation at the Seed 4 conference back in May of 2021. So today, we will be revisiting through your calls this topic. And what a phenomenal shot. What a great drawing depiction. Could not say it any better through a graphic. It's exactly what we have out there. Exactly. Just children. Total children. Calling themselves anarchists. They couldn't spell the damn word, let alone know what it means. Couldn't spell it. That's how, what bright bulbs some of these children out there are calling themselves anarchists. It's laughable. It's you gotta laugh or you'll put your head in your hands and weep at how stupid and naive some of these people are in what I described over the last few weeks, and in their mindset, in their religious viewpoints, and then in the next breath they'll tell you they don't have a religion when they're doing nothing but espousing religion. They don't know how to think. They don't know the trivium method. They know nothing of the occult engineers that are brainwashing them and completely destroying their minds. They don't even understand that they themselves, through what they espouse, through what they believe, through the things that they're saying and propagating to others, are literally putting chains upon themselves. Literally is what they're doing. They're literally putting shackles and chains on their own selves. And they're too stupid. They're too ill-read. They're too ill-educated. They're too totally rooted in religion, and I don't mean cultural religion. I mean the erroneous belief systems that are going on in their mind that they will not let go of because they're too in ego and hubris about what they think they know, and they don't know a damn thing that's important to know. They have barely started or even haven't started at all. The dark occultists would call these little children the unbegun and laugh at them. Rightfully so. Rightfully so. So, thanks to Will for finding this graphic because I think it's perfect. And it's exactly what these people are. And it even describes their lifestyle. They're living with mommy. And mommy's making sure that mask is on, fitting well, before you go out and bust some storefronts or kick over some garbage cans or whatever the fuck you do. And call yourself an anarchist and think that you're helping the world, because, like I said, they couldn't spell the word anarchy, let alone understand its true meaning and understand what a real anarchist like myself actually is. I'm the real deal. That's the phony. That's the fake. And people who espouse what these absolute fake-ass people espouse are not genuine anarchists. They are the phonies and the fakes that we've been talking about for the last month, and they give this movement and the freedom movement in general a bad name. They make it look bad because of how dumb they are, quite frankly. So we're going to take your calls on this topic and see what you have to say regarding fake-ass anarchists, regarding their mindset, regarding their religious views, regarding their behaviors, their practices, the groups that front them and fund them and give them their ideology. If you want to talk about this in connection with the occult, any direction you want to take it is fair game. To call in, visit whatonearthishappening.com/Discord. That will put you into our Discord server, the call-in room. You could also go to whatonearthishappening.com/show. And if you're watching there, we have a Discord widget on the front page, on the show page of whatonearthishappening.com. I feel like I'm almost trapped with Discord. Just as a brief aside, while people join into the room, I'm going to just go off on a little side rant here about Discord. Discord are clearly, the owners of this so-called communication app operation are clearly statists, leftists. They're time wasters with gaming. It's a shame that this is one of the only free platforms that exists that has the feature set and the permissions granularity to set up multiple rooms in a server, such as Discord has as its technological features. Otherwise, I would dump it in a heartbeat for something that can do exactly what it does. Now, everybody will suggest alternatives, but when you look at the feature sets of the alternatives that people say that you could replace Discord with, the app that they're suggesting doesn't really have the feature set. These guys are not about freedom of speech. Telegram is about freedom of speech. Those guys are really backing freedom advocates and people in the freedom movement by giving them a true communications platform that isn't going to be censored, which is why I'm even using it for how to become the true media. It's one of the reasons. Discord, however, doesn't give a damn about people's freedom of speech. They're social justice warriors. They're leftists, probably communists. I don't know that for sure, but they're certainly of the leftist persuasion. And they don't give a damn about freedom of speech as a human right. See, they don't even understand that. Picture espousing that the phone company should shut people's phone service off if they talk about things that the phone company owners don't agree with. Imagine this. Just imagine this all the little fucking babies out there that want to shut down other people's freedom of speech. Because that's what they are. Number one, that's what you are. When you advocate for the total shutdown of other people's speech that you don't agree with, you're a fucking baby. You're a little fucking baby child. I don't even mean that in a way that the word isn't good enough. It's not a big enough of a fucking insult to you, dunce, who espouses that. Because that's what you are. You're a fucking baby fucking dunce. And more than that, what you really are is you're a rotten piece of fucking trash Nazi. You are a fucking Nazi. You're cut from the same fucking cloth as the Nazis were. You're cut from the same fucking cloth as all the secret police of fucking Stalin's Russia were. You're cut from the same cloth as the Red Chinese who fucking starved out millions of fucking people. You're just immoral fucking trash. And that's all you can say to people like this. That's all you can tell them. You're the bad guys and you're immoral fucking trash. And all you give a fuck about is your bullshit religious agenda because you're in a fucking cult, loser. You're in a fucking cult, loser. That's all these people are. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to say what the fuck I want, motherfucker. Come and stop me physically. And then we'll see what a fucking pussy you are. Because that's what you are. You're little fucking babies and you're fucking pussies. And you wouldn't dare say a fucking word to my face in person. Because you'd see what would fucking happen to your head. How about that, motherfucker? Telling people you're going to silence their fucking speech if they don't agree with your agenda. Fuck you. Fuck you. Nazi fuck. So I feel a little strongly about it. Folks, if you couldn't tell. I feel a little bit strongly about the issue of freedom of speech. You're not going to take my fucking freedom of speech away. You'll have to put a bullet in me and you still won't get it done. Like I've said a million times, I'll be right back down another fucking birth canal into this motherfucker. You think you're going to get rid of me with a bullet? You better think the fuck again. Secondly, I ain't afraid of a fucking gun pointed at me. These pieces of fucking trash haven't banned me yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if they just say we're going to ban you for whatever reason we want. So it's probably not going to be long. We'll be taking calls on Discord. I know what these kind of people are like. They're just fucking Nazi trash. You guys think you're standing against fucking Nazis. You guys think you're standing against the bad guys. You are the fucking Nazis, you trash. You are the fucking bad guys, you piece of fucking dirt. You're immoral dirt. You don't know what freedom is. You don't care about fucking freedom because you're fucking uneducated losers. That's what you all are. People who want to curtail people's freedom of speech. You're uneducated fucking loser Nazis. And we know you're communist trash, but make no mistake about it. You're cut from the same fucking cloth. It's all the same thing because it's all the same ways of doing things. You get to the same fucking place, whether you're a trash leftist commie or whether you're a fucking trash fascist Nazi. It doesn't make a difference. You're both fucking trash. You're both authoritarians. You're both totalitarians. And you're both pieces of immoral fucking filth garbage. Whose whore fucking mother didn't raise you right. You piece of shit. That's what every person who is of that persuasion is exactly that. And I'm one of the only people that'll come out and fucking say it with balls. Just like that. That's right. So we'll take your calls on Discord about the other pieces of trash called fake ass anarchists today. We're going to be doing that on the Discord platform. So that's how to join us. Wrapping up the announcements section, briefly, the ARC 2.0 is still available. This is an ongoing offer for research material that helped me to understand the world and make sense of it. You send me either a hard drive or a solid state drive with at least 2 terabytes of storage space available, and I will fill it up for you. That's the ARC offer. Very simple. So it consists of 26,000 audio files, 9,500 books, and 3,400 videos. From a time even when the internet wasn't as censored as it was, so you'd have a hard time finding a lot of these pieces of material now because of the censorship measures that have been imposed in this garbage Nazi trash world and communist trash world. And you don't need to endlessly search the internet because it's all there, copied on a local device for you. You plug that into any computer. The ARC will work with a Mac. It will work with a Windows computer. It will work with a Linux computer, laptop or desktop, or even tablets that have USB ports and allow you to mount an external drive. So it will work on just about any computing device, and all the material is available offline without having to search the internet or deal with censorship. If you want to take me up on this unique offer, please visit whatonearthishappening.com/ARC. There are rigid shipping instructions to protect your drive and to make it hassle-free for me to get you the data as quickly as possible. That's the goal. That's why the instructions are the way that they are. Just respectfully follow the instructions and there'll be no problem with your ARC. We'll get it back to you very efficiently. If you want hard copies of my presentations or other ancillary promotional items such as t-shirts, keychains, stickers, coasters, buttons, etc., visit gifts.whatonearthishappening.com. This is a donation gifts website. So for your donation toward the What on Earth is Happening cause, we will mail you out free gift items of your choosing. That is what this little gift basket website that I've set up does. So if you want to do that and help the What on Earth is Happening cause through your donation in return for gifts that we will send you, visit gifts.whatonearthishappening.com. And finally, if you want to make a straight donation to the What on Earth is Happening cause and also support the One Great Work Network through a donation like this, there are, I believe, 11 donation methods on whatonearthishappening.com/donate. All of the methods that we accept through gifts, plus our Amazon wish list, where if you so choose, you can donate a technology item to directly help technologically here at What on Earth is Happening. Right now, I don't think there's anything up on the Amazon wish list because, as I said previously, everyone has actually purchased the items that are on there and shipped them directly to us. And I want to thank everybody for their generous donations that they've offered for What on Earth is Happening. You've kept the whole operation going, the One Great Work Network as well, and helped me keep going personally. So thank you very much to everyone who has donated from the bottom of my heart. You guys are great, and I really, really, really appreciate your efforts to keep us going. So once again, if you want to make a straight donation, whatonearthishappening.com/donate. Those are all the housekeeping announcements that I have, so let me get set up to take your calls. Switch over to that for a moment. I got to get my headphones on and go over to my Discord app. Here we go. All right, we have some people waiting. And also, folks, thank you for using your real name in the Discord room. I'm going to only call on people who use their names. I will not call on people who use internet handles or aliases. You can change your nickname in the What on Earth is Happening server if you need to. But I will not be calling on people who use internet handles, just letting people know. All right, let's go to Axel. Axel, you're live on What on Earth is Happening. Welcome to the show, and what do you have for us today?
Can you hear me, Mark?
Hold on, Axel. I'm not hearing you. Give me a moment to correct my headset here. I apologize. Give me one moment.
Can you hear me?
I'm going
Can
into
you
my
hear me?
Discord settings and trying to clear this up. I apologize for the technical problem. All right,
you
Axel,
hear me
can you
now?
say something else?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I'm
Can you
still
hear me?
not hearing you. Give me another moment. I apologize, folks. I tested this right before the show, so I'm not really sure what's causing this. I'm going to quit Discord and relaunch it and see if I end up clearing up the problem. This had happened previously, and I got it cleared up, so just bear with me. It's always a tech issue, always. All right, I'm relaunching Discord. Going back into the room. Check 1 2, check 1 2. Okay, my voice is coming through Discord. Let's see if I can hear Axel now. Go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
Nothing. That's what I mean. I mean, people cannot get software right. They just can't. They can't get it right. They can't get it right.
Can you hear me now?
So, we're off
Can you
to
hear
a
me
bad
now?
start here. Let me check something else.
Hello, Mark. Can you hear me now?
Check 1 2.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me
I'm
now?
gonna take my headset out and put it back in. Now let's see if I can hear him. All right,
Can you hear me now?
there you go. I just got it fixed. Okay.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you very well.
All right,
Mark.
great. I
Thank
think
you-
we've
thank
cleared
you for
up the
getting me.
tech issue. I, bared through that and got the sound through this headset here, which has been presenting a problem and has been coming out of the setup somehow, where I have to then remove it and re-add it back, which is very odd. I don't know why it's happening, but this is the nature of the tech world. And if people take the How to Become the True Media seminar, they will realize you're not going to forever be able to prevent tech problems. They're going to manifest. The goal is persistence. Just keep having persistence and logically think it through and go through a stepwise troubleshooting procedure until you get the problem corrected. A big part of what I teach in the seminar is never give up. Persist and stay as calm as possible, and then logically think it through. It gets frustrating a lot of the times, but this is unfortunately the nature of badly written software, especially in the open source world, where developers just seem not to give a damn. And we've been through a whole series of shows on software development and the satanic mindset involved in that. It's so many people in society because they are wrapped up in their own head, in what they're thinking, and the next thing they want to do, and they're not focused in the present moment, in the now. There's no present moment awareness in many of these people's mindset and thought process, and that's why they make so many mistakes. And it's a shame, because what it represents is that even a competent person who is very knowledgeable, like myself, can make no mistakes and still have technical problems, not making any errors on their own, because the software is poorly written and it simply triggers errors and has problems that the end user cannot solve. Or they have to do workarounds and dance arounds to solve the problem in the immediate sense. But really, the software is still problematic. So, this will probably continue to occur from time to time until whoever is responsible for the bug in the software identifies the bug and fixes it. And it's almost highly unlikely that will occur, because a lot of developers just don't care. They don't care about the quality of their software. They're lost in their own head. They're drunk with their own power. People like Discord, people like other, internet platforms, actually believe that they have the right to stop other people from speaking their mind to others just because they don't agree with them. Well, what if the phone company and your cell phone company, right, say, I don't like your leftist views. I'm cutting off your cell phone service forever. You're never allowed on any of our platforms. You will not have a cell phone for the rest of your life because we don't like what you're calling and talking to your mom about. You're espousing views we don't agree with as conservatives. Could you imagine how fucking flipped out these people would go if, let's say, a conservative phone company said, we're cutting off your cell phone service because you're a loser liberal, a leftist, and we don't want any of you speaking your mind on our platform. We're a private company. We're allowed to do it. Imagine this. The people believe this bullshit too. Imagine people who believe this bullshit, that these people have a, quote, right to censor other people's speech. They are a communications platform providing a neutral end-to-end service of sending data. That's all they are. They should not even legally be allowed to do that. It is a criminal. That is racketeering. You understand? When you're doing something like that, you're engaged in a racketeering process. If you look up criminal racketeering, you'll understand that that's really what they're engaging in. This is racketeering. Okay? Not that I even care about what the law defines a wrongdoing as. I don't care what man's law defines it as. I'm talking about that you're engaged in an immoral activity, period, by censoring other people just because you don't like what they're saying. Then don't get involved in the communications platform. You can't have it both ways. You can't start a communications platform and then say only people who I agree with are allowed to use it. Imagine these fucking dirty Nazi pieces of dirt. I mean, I just can't believe, it makes me want to root for physical war, because when it's on, then it's going to be on people like that. And I almost want that to occur. I am almost perfectly comfortable with the aspect of civil war here in America. And I've been perfectly comfortable with it for a long time. I don't think it would be a bad thing. I think it would be a needed cleansing of this country, personally. I think the people who would win and come out on top would actually make the country better. Because I think in many ways, whether they outnumber the other aspect of people or not, they're more filled with the spirit of, I'm going to fight this, we're going to defeat this, and we're going to make something better on the other side. Because right now what we have is just such fucking junk. We have such junk in this country, and junk running institutions, junk running software companies and development and tech. Big tech has just completely lost their fucking minds out of control. And even these smaller tech companies, they've lost their fucking minds. They never had minds to lose to begin with, but they have lost it. They've lost their shit. And it's just got to be said. Sorry, Axel. Go ahead and bring up what you wanted to talk about. I'm sorry, because I'm just on a ravenous rampage about freedom of speech right now and what these companies think that they have the right to do.
I agree. I perfectly agree with you, Mark. I appreciate your work myself.
Thank you.
And I have a YouTube channel as well. I'm putting video out.
Great.
If you want, I can give you my YouTube channel, which is called Axel Dai.
Sure.
You'll find me on YouTube.
Say again, what is the name of the channel?
Axel Dahi, the name, my proper name.
AXELDAHI?
Absolutely, that is correct. That's
Great.
me. And I'm putting the word out because, quite frankly, I'm tired of the ignorance of people. People are very ignorant. I see it every day. And we need to do something. You know what I'm saying? People need to stop playing nice and be. We need to do anything to destroy this system of slavery, quite frankly.
That's right.
Because humanity is going to a very dangerous path, and people don't want to hear that. That's right. They think everything is positive. Folks, people have zero idea what's coming. Nothing. They think everything is positive. They think everything is positive. And people don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that. They think everything is positive. And people don't want to hear that. That's right. 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 Folks, people have zero idea what's coming. have no idea what's coming now. What's going to happen now is going to be worse than Nazi Germany and communist Russia and all the totalitarian regime throughout history. Because these people, they're not going to stop until we end it.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's exactly right. Exactly.
And I really appreciate your work because I'm watching your podcast in order. I just came on this podcast to say hi because I wanted to talk to you for a long time. I wasn't able to get on Discord, but that's what I wanted to say. Because I see it every day. Comment on the social media platforms. People are very ignorant. They still believe in government. They still believe in erroneous belief system, which is they can't use the proper logic and a trivium.
That's right.
Properly.
Imagine these people want their own freedom of speech, and they want other people's freedom of speech shut down if they don't agree with them. I mean, they'd never put the shoe on the other foot. Imagine if, like I said, what if your internet service provider said, I don't like your viewpoints, and I'm just cutting your service off? That communications companies and platforms that allow communication should not ever do anything like that. If we're not going to put up with that with a phone company or an internet company, what makes people think that they should put up with it for Discord or Apple or Microsoft or Google or any of the big tech companies or Twitter or Facebook? I mean, they should just be neutral communication providers. That's it. You don't have a say in what content gets communicated any more than a phone. Picture a landline company, right? Picture like AT&T, right? Or your local landline company. You have a landline installed in your house. You pick up the phone, you make a call to a friend, and you start talking to them, and the operator comes on the landline and says, I'm sorry, but we're cutting off your service because we were listening into what you were saying, and we don't like that conversation. So you can't ever have a phone in your home again. Imagine that. That is exactly what these tech companies are doing. No different. It's no different than that.
Censorship its finest, and people seem to be okay with this.
They seem to love it. They seem to be fine with it. Yeah.
Very sad. Very sad. I don't know what to say.
That's why we have to reach out to people and really educate them. That's the answer. The answer is people got like that because they weren't educated. The solution is they have to become educated, and we especially have to reach the young people. We have to reach the youth and educate them before they turn into adults like that.
100% agree with what you say. People they need to be educated. I see parents, there's a lack of conscious parenting. People are not morally educated. They don't understand the objective difference between a right and wrong behavior. They think everything is subjective.
That's right.
They think we can do whatever we want. It's not like this.
Exactly.
And
moral relativism.
Very few people ever talk about this problem.
It's the destroyer of freedom, as I call it, and it's such a big topic on when we talk about fake ass anarchists. Because how many fake anarchists are moral relativists and actually believe that morality is subjective? They will actually spout that religious belief and then in the next breath call themselves anarchists. Unbelievable.
And then not only that, they think they can achieve freedom through maintaining the system of slavery called government.
That's right.
I hear people saying, government is there to protect people's rights. Folks, you don't understand that government is there to enslave you.
That's it.
The very word government means mind control. And yet people can see it. People who claim to be awakened, they can't see this shit.
It's right in the name. It's right in the name.
Right in the name. I'm shocked. Everybody in the freedom movement talks about nonsense, not addressing the cause of fire. Everybody wants to talk about the symptoms of the disease.
That's right.
They want to talk about which side is the best and the worst side. not understanding they're both the same. They're controlled by the Satanists behind the power structure.
That's right.
Who runs everything. Not understanding the power structure and the system of control is very complex.
That's right.
And they want to blame on one group. I see it everywhere in the social media. People blaming, oh, it's just the Jews, it's just the Zionists, it's just the Jesuits. No, for it goes beyond that.
Axel, you definitely seem to have a good handle on things and how the power structure works, its complexity, its roots in the occult world. So I'm going to check out your channel myself, and if you be interested, maybe we can onboard you onto the One Great Work Network as a content creator. I'll check out some of your content, and then I'll get back to you. But it sounds to me like you have a very firm handle on things and what's really going on in the world. I fully agree with you, and I sympathize with your frustration as you're sympathizing with mine, and how difficult it is to reach out to these people and help to truly morally educate them. But that is what our work is to do.
Thank you. That's what I'm very upset and frustrated, because we heading to a very dark path, and if we need, this is the time now to do something.
That's right.
Otherwise, it's over for us. We're not gonna be able to do anything, because these people are psychopaths. They're not gonna stop until they're gonna have total control of humanity.
That's their ultimate goal.
That's what people, they want to enslave everyone. Nobody, no matter who it is.
That's right.
It doesn't matter who it is.
It crosses cultural boundaries. It crosses nation states. It crosses all races, all ages.
Everyone.
They want everybody,
Absolutely.
not just one group of people enslaved. They want everybody enslaved. Absolutely.
I'm quite very young. I'm just 22, and
Excellent.
I'll be watching your podcast. I'll be watching Jordan Maxwell, David Icke, many other researchers. And your great job. You wake me up on the diet that we're supposed to eat as well, on not killing animals, and many other things, because I didn't know any of this until a few years ago, and then I start questioning all these concepts, start questioning the system,
right?
Because I felt something wasn't right, and I came across your work and many other researchers' work, and very interesting. People want to criticize other people for what they're doing, and not appreciating the work of other people,
right,
and doing something
That's
themselves.
right. That's right.
They want to criticize. And I started posting videos on YouTube. I got in contact with Brandon Spencer, one of your content creator, and I think I should do something, because for what we know, we need to put the word out, because otherwise,
I'm really glad to hear. I'm really glad to hear that young people like yourself are making that realization at such a young age and getting involved that early on. That's encouraging to me. So I commend you for that. Thank you. Yes.
Thank you very much. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you very much, Mark.
Absolutely.
Have a nice day.
Axel, thank you so much. Great call. Pleasure to hear from you.
No problem.
Keep it up. And like I said, I'll check out your page, and maybe we could, at some future point, onboard you onto the One Great Work Network yourself.
No problem. That will be my pleasure.
Great.
Thank you, Mark. Have a nice day.
Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. Awesome. See, that makes it worthwhile, folks. I mean, to hear that young person, early 20s, waking up to a great degree, is talking about all the real things that matter, the real things that people need to understand, and then putting that out there for others. That's what it's all about. That makes me feel somewhat encouraged. So thank you for that call. Let's go over to Chris. Chris, you are live on What on Earth is Happening. Welcome to the show.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Wow, it's awesome to talk to you again. I talked to you, I think it was episode 235, briefly, but it was my bit about natural law, and I took your advice pretty much on everything. I tried to do a slideshow with it. It wasn't very good, but I did go and do some podcasts.
Great.
I got away from it for a while, but recently I did another video. Got it parked on Odyssey right now, but I was going to put it on YouTube.
Let me ask you a question. How have you found producing, creating your own media? Have you found it, a very difficult process, that it goes smoothly for you? Do you enjoy doing it? Was it what you thought it would be? Give me some of that, feedback, for our listeners. For
me, well, I've always had struggles in my life when it comes to taking on challenges and whatnot. But I always work through them. With this, it was at first kind of stressful, but I figured it out. And I had the podcast Podbean platform that I was using. So it wasn't too bad once I got it figured out. And what I was doing was recording myself through video and doing a podcast. So I did both.
Okay.
And posted those up.
Let me ask you another question real quick. Did you take one of the earlier True Media seminars or no?
I have not yet.
Okay.
Actually, I want to.
Yeah, I mean,
I have not.
I was going to ask, would you think that might help smooth out your skill set and help with, creation of media like this?
Oh, absolutely. I took a look at what you run down, what you go through. Everything there would come very useful. It helped me just in my literacy with computers in general. I'm not very computer literate when it comes to the deeper part of it.
But obviously you have some basic skill sets under your belt, so you would be considered more of a novice user, but not quite toward the intermediate area. But you still know enough to have gotten a podcast off the ground, which is decent. That's considerable. So you're the kind of person that I think would be ideal for the course for other people listening that may be hearing somewhat of, be in a similar situation to what Chris is describing, where you have some skill sets, you've done a little bit, and you want to take your skills to the next level. I think that's like an ideal person for the How to Become the True Media seminar, just from my estimation. But it's great that you, took the initiative on your own, even, I'm just assuming, without formal training of any sort, right?
Yeah, not a whole lot. I think I had computer course in high school.
Okay.
I mean, back as that.
So not for a long time did you have any actual teaching or instruction in computing in general, and you're breaking into the field of new media, you could call it, with a podcast, so overall, I mean, how many episodes did you get out, and how smooth would you have rated the process, like on a scale of 1 to 10, like 1 being not smooth at all, very hard, and 10 being it went really smoothly?
I have to say about the first 10 episodes, that they're all pre-recorded, was, I would say, between a 5 and a 7.
Okay. So medium to kind of smooth as the process went. And how many did you get out completed?
Not including the most recent one, because I don't count that. I'm not even live on Odyssey. Apparently no one's viewing it. There's some rules about that, I guess, that I probably don't qualify for or something. But so that's a new learning curve. But I tried a live stream, and that didn't go so well.
What about a website to promote and social media to promote? Because that's how you can make people aware of what you're doing. Did you get anything like that started?
Not yet. I've been trying over the years. I've been really trying to get something off the ground. Again, having the funds to do so, and some things that happened in my life were devastating. So it's been very
That's
challenging.
understandable.
For me.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh,
And yeah, so many people are going through things like that right now. But what I was going to say as a piece of advice, if you do work to highlight and promote your own work, like build a site, a simple website that you just then will repeatedly post the podcasts on, like a blog, and also then cross-promote through certain social media platforms, I think you'll see your viewership go up and up. And if you do that steadily, it will steadily increase. That's one of the ways that you bring people into your material.
Yeah, that was my idea.
Right.
I just hadn't gotten anything up now. And I also like to write. So that's actually my chosen form of expression, but I do see where you come from when you talk about the speaking word,
Yes.
Sometimes it seems like it's speaking direct to people the best way, because you can actually explain it to them like that
Sure.
and there what you're talking about.
Have you considered doing any
doing
presentations,
worded.
like making PowerPoint, keynote presentations, etc.?
Yes, I have actually thought about doing something like that, like doing a full-on presentation with a slideshow and posting that on
Sure.
in the video.
It's a great way to go about it. These are the things that we go through in the seminar. We lay all of this out, how to do it. I show you how to do it. I actually do it during the seminar. I, build a presentation, make some simple slides, etc. Show you how to record that. So this is a perfect case scenario for, enrollment in the How to Become the True Media seminar, because these are the exact skill sets that we actually cover. For anybody else out there listening to what Chris is saying here, this is, how people begin. You can't expect to begin and have, 1,000, live viewers on your first stream. It's probably not going to work that way. Hey, if it does, wonderful. But, it's a process of persistent doing and continuously, reaching out to more people, word of mouth spreads. Your website gets more clicks. People go more on your social media, and then your actual media gets out there to more and more people. You have to stay with it. Persistence is a big, huge part of what we teach in the seminar, and consistency is a big part. Now, that doesn't mean you can never take a break. Obviously, we all need that. But in general, if you stay consistent with your material and put it out there and just build it up more and more, you will see that recognition come. I promise you. I know it can always feel like nobody's out there and nobody's going to be paying attention, but it really is a matter of just really getting it in front of some more eyes through smart promotional efforts. So, my personal advice for next steps would be get a website built, go on some select social media. You don't have to do a million of them, but couple that you want to have a target audience on, and keep posting your links, keep posting links to your site. Always use your website as an archive of your material. One of the things I find is people don't want to go to 5 different platforms to find where you've actually put out content. They want a central hub. And if your website acts as that hub where somebody can get everything that you've done, it's a one-stop shop. So that's why everything I've ever put out is on What on Earth is Happening. Just about every interview I've ever done, all my presentations are up there. Every podcast since podcast number 1 is up there. So it not only sort of immortalizes your content by putting it online and keeping it, but organizing it nicely for people so that they know, okay, it's here, it's in this section, I can hit play here and watch this or listen to this. That acting as a central resource location is something that builds that consistency. it builds that, you could call it brand consistency. I don't really want to use a corporate term like that, but it builds awareness of what you're putting out there consistently for people. And that's why I would recommend that as a next step. But folks, this is a great example what Chris is talking about, and I'm sure many of the other people listening and watching out there are in a similar situation where you may know a little bit, you may know less than a little bit, you may know a tiny bit, and you are right on the edge of wanting to start something, wanting to get it out there, but you have some hesitancy as to how or what next steps should be. This is the perfect scenario where you would want to check out the How to Become the True Media seminar. I'm not even just saying that as a advertisement for the course, but really it would be an excellent idea because I've been through all of this. This is exactly what I've done over the last 15 years, and I could give you pointers on experientially exactly the process that I went through, and this is what we cover in the course. One of the other things I want to say, Chris, before I move on to some other callers, is that I really like seeing this exact scenario that you're bringing to the table of starting something like this, and even the last caller starting a YouTube channel, regardless of the platform, right? It seems more and more people are putting their own content out there. That this is happening. It may not be in the biggest way imaginable right now, but it's definitely starting. It's beginning, and people are realizing, hey, it's not just about me absorbing material. It's about me putting it out there myself as well. So let me just ask you before I let you go, what led you to make that decision ultimately? Where you stop being a content absorber, or you're obviously still going to absorb content that you want to listen to and watch, but what made you make that final decision to say, I'm going to start putting material out there myself?
Well, it was quite a number of years ago when I came across yours and Park and Rose's work. You sounded like you were in line with what true, and frankly, what the word anarchy actually means. And so I was taking it all in, and I was starting to develop my own ideas. And like I said, I like to write, so I'm coming up with ideas for novels or nonfiction work. And then, like I said, things happened, and I got turned upside down. So you were coming all out. You were like, are you there?
Yeah, you were breaking up a little bit, but you're back. Continue.
I started listening to your shows right about the time you were cutting loose fully. You were saying, enough of this crap. I'm done with it. Back, and it started to really put a fire under my belt. And say, what am I doing here? I have to get up and helping you out, helping others out. I could do something here.
Beautiful. I want to thank you for sharing that, and I thank you for getting personally involved. I'm glad that I was able to, inspire that or help to, along with Lark and Rose. And I'm really glad that you got started and, got off of the bench and onto the playing field. That's what it's all about, my friend. So, Chris, thank you, and keep it up. Do not get discouraged. Promote, network, cross-network with other people, and you'll see those numbers steadily go up. Persistence is the key, and consistency is the key. I would give that as my advice, and if at some point you're apt to join into the How to Become the True Media seminar, we'd love to have you there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I got some resources coming to me, and I'm hoping they'll come in time to be able to sign up if it's not too full. And I'm also readying myself to send for your ARC. So.
Great. Awesome. Chris, thank you so much, my friend. Great call. You have a good one.
You too, man. Keep it up yourself.
Absolutely. All right. All right, let's see who else is holding on the line. Let's go over to Dan A. Dan A., you are live on What on Earth is Happening. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Mark. Thanks for taking my call. It's good to talk to you again.
Absolutely.
I met you at Anarchist and
Cool.
really loved your presentation there.
Thank you.
I took your Teaching Natural Law seminar, and probably about a month and a half later, maybe the end of October, beginning of November, I did my first podcast. And I've put out the last 28 months, like 30 podcasts. I spoke 3 times live last year, and I plugged your work. And I was surprised, within the freedom community, you're very well known.
Really?
And these, of course, but right?
It's kind of a shock to me. But
yeah, it's kind of a shock. But like these other people I was talking to never even heard of the freedom community. They would be like, yeah, I'm all about freedom. That's why I wanted Trump in office. They don't even know what the freedom community is.
Yeah.
So I gave them your website, and you got a very easy website to remember, and they were writing it down. So hopefully I sent some people to you that otherwise would have never found you.
Cool. Cool. I hope they check it out. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, strange story aside is I'm an ex-order follower.
Okay.
Several different levels. I'm an ex-cop, federal cop on a low level.
Mm-hmm.
So I was part of that satanic cult, and I got away from it. And I found your work in February of 2019. And come July of 2019, I fell out with you, even though you didn't know about it, for about a day when I seen Cosmic Abandonment.
Okay.
And I had to sit there in front of the mirror, and if I was going to hear the first principles, say, no, he's fucking right. And I was in a wrong profession. So 2.5 months later, I was shaking your hand at Anarchist.
That's awesome.
So yeah, I'm out of it. I got lots of stuff to tell. I've told a lot. I have wrote 2 books. The second book that I wrote, called Rise from Darkness, Who Are They? You heavily influenced it. And I just want to let you know, I gave you thanks in the acknowledgments and plugged the website. What on earth is happening?
Well, that is great. Thank you. Dan, I have so much that I want to respond regarding what you're doing in your work. First of all, you seem to have already put out a great amount of material. So I would definitely want to onboard you onto One Great Work Network at some point if that's something you'd be interested in. So if you want to hit me up on Discord, I will. We can talk, and I could maybe make those accounts for you if it's something that you're interested in. I would definitely like to check out the book, and I want to talk to you maybe possibly briefly on the side at some point about a project that I am going to start working on and expanding. A while back, a friend of mine procured the website quityourcult.com. It right now only redirects to What on Earth is Happening. But I would like to take that domain and maybe start building out an entirely other website about former order followers. And I have some other people in mind for this project, but you sound like you would be perfect as someone who can offer their own testimonial and maybe tell their own story, in a brief way on the website. We could link to your site, your book, etc., and get some promotion going for that. But basically, the whole site would be we would put the order followers presentation on the site for people to watch. Describe what we're trying to do to get people to quit organizations such as that, and then have firsthand testimonials to people who woke up to true morality and did in fact quit their cult that they were involved in. So if that's something that you'd also like to collaborate on, this is a project that is probably long-term down the road, maybe at least a year away from being launched, maybe longer. But once we get enough people to offer testimonials like that as former order followers, we'd like to launch this site and have it be a repository for firsthand anecdotes like that. If it's something, again, that you'd be interested in doing, we could talk.
Yeah, you know what? I absolutely would be honored to do that. And that's where I kind of see myself fitting in, because I'm like an intermediate initiate in the occult. Like I'm a novice, but compared to like your average person out here, yeah, I'm like a tenured professor, much like you. And I figured where I'm going to fit into this is talking about getting out of the order following cult and how being in that job, and this is kind of what I put into the book also, the negative consequential effects of that employment
Yes.
that I had dealt with in my personal life. And, some of the self-loathing that so many people in that line of work end up having. I would love to and talk to you on the side. And I want to thank you very publicly for what you do, because you're doing something that I feel is a true service to humanity. And like David Icke said, people come and go, but he was amazed at how can people stop doing this once they know what's going on?
Exactly.
And I got questions, so many questions for you. I'd love to talk to you on the side.
Yeah. Hit me up on Discord. We could talk about bringing you onto One Great Work Network soon. And, like I said, the Quit Your Cult project, I'm going to be launching that maybe sometime next year, maybe the middle of next year. So we have time for that, but I would like to start building up, as I said, people who can offer firsthand anecdotal evidence for getting out of the cults that they were involved in, and putting their testimony on the website. So that's definitely something. Yeah, let's talk about it on the side on Discord or something. Just hit me up there and we'll get together about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks. I've also put some of my links up on the Facebook page.
Cool.
Natural Law Facebook page. So some of my podcast links are up there.
Great. Give people your main area where they can check out your content.
On YouTube is my main area right now, and I'm on suspension, so I haven't been able to put nothing new up. I won't be able to June.
What's the channel name?
But it's Spiritual Anarchist Dan Arnold, and I know you don't like hyphenated anarchist, but everyone else thinks it's violent, so I just put it Spiritual Anarchist Dan Arnold, because people just do not know.
If you're going to hyphenate it with anything, spiritual is probably a good choice. So no problem there.
Yeah, so that's what that's how I got it. My real name's on it, and kind of what you talked about, these other segued right into this, is I've been deplatformed on Facebook. I had 3,000 followers, which I know is just a drop in the bucket, but that was 3,000 people that I was putting stuff out to.
Absolutely.
And they deplatformed me. I'm on restriction now. These people are fucking evil.
I mean, they're just evil.
I dig your anger, and I try not to sound like you, but when I get going, I probably do.
They're evil people. And they don't even understand that they're evil. They don't care. They don't understand that they're evil. They don't even care when people tell them. Do you know? We could go right up to one of their faces and say, you know what? You are evil. You're an evil being, and they don't care. That they actually are convinced that they're in the right. They believe this. That's how sick their minds are. Yeah. Well, Dan,
I try to figure out how to get through. Thank you. I don't know how you've done this for 15 years. I'm frustrated after 2, man. So, wow. Thank you.
Keep it up, man. I wish I could tell you it gets easier. It's not really the case, but exercise that persistence anyway. That's what the great work is all about. And thank you for starting, and thank you for the work that you've already done. Like I said, you're a prime example of what I would like to feature both on One Great Work Network and on quityourcult.com when we eventually launch that as its own website. So let's stay in touch, and thank you for the call.
Definitely. Thank you, Mark. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan.
Bye-bye.
So I'm personally impressed seeing this trend of we're seeing a lot of people who are creating their own content. That's happening. So the message is being received. So I'm not going to go hard on people like this. Obviously, they're the ones doing it. They're putting it out there. They're, getting the work done. This is what it's all about, folks. Let's hear from Dan S. Dan S., you are live on What on Earth is Happening. Welcome. Just unmute yourself if you're not already unmuted, and then go ahead and speak. You're not coming through. It looks like maybe your microphone source isn't selected correctly, but you are unmuted on our end. So let's come back to Dan S. I'll come back to you, try to resolve that technical issue, and I will come back to you. All right. Tech issues are going to happen. You just power through it and persist through it. Let's hear from Dennis. Dennis, you're live on What on Earth is Happening. Welcome.
Hey, Mark, how you doing?
Not bad. Yourself?
Good. I don't know if you remember me. We talked a few weeks ago.
Vaguely,
I
yes.
remember you're talking. Yeah, no, I used to program computers.
Yes.
And I'd love to help you, and you haven't got back to me yet. I'm on your one now. I talked to some of your developers, so I'm on that little network.
Yes, I occasionally jump into that development chat, and hopefully we will be able to catch each other there. But I have been extremely busy with other projects, but I'll probably be in that development chat this coming week. So if you want to go in there when they do their regular meeting, I'll try to make it.
Sure, I'm not as the regular meetings because I'm kind of sporadic. I'm just totally new. When do they usually hold those?
Well, you said that you were on the network site, or no? Because I could bring you into there if you want to talk.
You sent me these.
We have development
Well, you
meetings.
gave me a link for the developers.
Yeah.
Yeah, the development meetings. You gave me a link for
Yep.
that. So I was in one meeting, but I haven't been since.
All right, I'll jump in there this week. I believe they meet on Wednesdays. So just put a text in there and you can get the meeting time, and I'll jump into the meeting this week.
Sounds good.
Cool.
Okay, now I remember what you were talking about a couple of weeks ago about solipsism.
Yes.
And I just want to comment on that. I agree with you. People who believe in solipsism is childish and you're stupid. You need to apologize to the universe and all that stuff you're saying.
Yes.
But with today's computer analogies, it's a little bit more than just solipsism. Let me try to explain my thinking. So
Okay.
You've got the online video game. You've got an online video game where you're controlling your avatar in the video game, and someone's jacked in on the other side of the planet, and he's also got an avatar in the online video game. So you've got your solipsism world because you're in your own little computer world. I've got my computer settings and I see my screen, and he's in his own universe and on the other side of the planet with his. He's in solipsism reality. And yet we have a shared reality in the game, two
Right.
avatars in the game, right? So it's not simply solipsism, but a shared reality as well. And my computer settings might show tables as pink, and then in his computer shows blue. And I can say to him, hey, is tables pink? Because that's what is my world. And the master programmer, I call the creator God, can intercept that message, and he hears my avatar say to him in his little solipsism world, are tables blue? Because they're blue in his world. And he says, yeah, of course tables are blue. And it comes back out at me, yeah, of course tables are pink. So we're in our own solipsism reality, and we can still have meaningful conversations, interactions with each other in the shared reality, and yet God can still we can have very similar reality, and yet it can be very different too at the same time. Do you catch my analogy?
That is the difference between perception and objective reality. And this is the beginning of the natural law seminar, where I talk about what we are talking about as truth in that seminar, in the whole 3-part series. And then how does actual objective truth differ from individuated perception of the objective reality. And then the goal or the work becomes to attempt to align as closely as possible, while in the individuated body, the vehicle for perception, to align that individuated perception to what is objectively present and what is objectively there. So I would look at it very similarly in that way. I just would not go to the extreme that solipsists do of saying that there is no objective reality and objective viewpoint. There is only the perception of it. There, in our 3D reality, there is objective truth and the way something actually is in the natural world. And then there are the individuated perceptions of the people having experiences that will differ based on their ability, their mindset, their accuracy, their ability to see what is actually there and process that information, versus the objective reality of it. And our work is to make an effort to align the two as tightly as possible, so that we can perceive what is, again, as closely as possible, what is objectively there, and then make correct decisions about the objective reality, and then align our behavior to that. And the more closely we do that, the more closely we live in alignment to natural law and create freedom collectively. The worse that we align that process of perception, that perceptual alignment, the worse we do that to the objective reality, the more off base and incorrect our perceptions are going to be. That's going to inform our judgment and our behavior. And then if it's way out of alignment, then we're going to do immoral things, and we're going to create slavery and chaos. And none of us say we want that. And That's why it's so important to, as I've been emphasizing over the last many weeks, to get it right and to accurately align that individuated perception that you're referring to, in the avatars, in the individuated units of consciousness that we call individuals, to correctly align that to the objective reality, especially when it comes to the objective moral reality. If we do that, we're gonna get what we say we want in the form of true freedom and true order and goodness and prosperity, etc., and all the things that come with it. If we don't do that, expect more slavery and chaos to come.
Right. Yeah, no, I hear you, man, because I hear what you're saying, the objective and the subjective. Like the objective would be tables exist, they're a certain color, and we can objectively agree or appear to be in our own individual realities, but in the shared reality, it can be such as that we think we're agreeing, and yet our own individual realities, we can perceive it a little bit different. But
and then that becomes a matter
of tables are a certain color. Subjectively, we see it differently sometimes.
So then it would become a matter of semantics through words, what you are describing. But again, we can have semantical differences and still come to the general, overarching understanding of what is actually there and what is actually real, especially when it comes to the morality of behavior. That I think is less of a, very specific, thing that relies on so much, meticulous observation, and it's far more common sense based, where everybody knows what they don't want done to them, that's wrong to do, and just don't do that to others. It's not even that hard.
Like it amazes me because Klaus Schwab's out there with this 2030 reset. You'll own nothing and you'll be happy. Yeah. That's communist dictatorship. You're going to own nothing. He's already talking like a dictator. You're going to be happy. Telling you what's going to make you happy. I show people this. I saw a video where Klaus Schwab admitted in Canada, where I live, Prime Minister Trudeau and half his cabinet is on Schwab's side. And this guy is telling you you're going to own nothing, you're going to be happy. What the hell? That's objective. That's wrong. Private property. You can't be free without it. And people are like.
And by the way, Dennis, he flew there. He flew there in a private jet. He's wearing a $3,000 suit. And this is the guy who's saying you'll have no possessions. And you'll be happy. Imagine the house that guy's living in with all the money from the Bilderberg Group and all the money from the WEF, etc., and he's traveling all throughout the world in private jets and, fancy, expensive suits and cars.
Why don't supposed leaders of the countries challenge this guy? I mean, how can that's communist dictatorship?
How about,
when in history has communist dictatorship made anyone happy?
Ever.
It doesn't make
any place that it has been done.
And shooting you.
Any place it's been done, it's led to disaster and death and ruin.
Right.
How about they set an example and show us how it's done and live with no possessions? Don't have any of the cameras set up there. Hey, those cameras that you're using to do that conference, those are possessions. How about just getting out in the middle of the street with no clothes on and saying what a great person he is for not owning anything. Yeah, set the example.
Yeah,
Klaus, show us how it's done first. Then we'd be more apt to listen to you.
And I'm sure you're
although I don't want to see that site. Don't get me wrong. That would be a horror to behold. But I don't want to paint too horrific of an idea in people's minds. But please show us how it's done first. But yeah, go ahead, continue.
Yeah, I'm sure you're aware. February 14th, my inferior Trudeau destroyed those family truckers, and he started a bit of a movement of the truckers.
Sure.
That what happened there is going across the world. People are starting to stand up, and I've started to find out there's pastors being jailed, and people who go against the COVID mandates are being jailed. Right. And it's like one father he was hiding. He wanted to protect his daughter from being vaccinated, and they arrested him. He's in jail. It's like, what the fuck? I'm starting to put all this on my website, and I want to go on the attack. And I'm afraid I'll get arrested, but it's like I almost don't care at this point.
And what part of the world are you in? You're in Canada?
I'm in Canada.
Yeah, so it's even
Alberta,
even more dangerous there. Unfortunately, it's sad.
It's getting really fucking dangerous, and it's super dangerous because we don't have weapons like you Americans, so we're screwed.
Right. It's a bad situation.
So yeah.
In a lot of the other alleged Western regions of the world, Australia was one of the worst, New Zealand one of the worst, Canada one of the worst. The UK, they offered a little bit more resistance than other places in the world, which was good to see. But, even here in Philadelphia, the city council here is saying we're going to reinstitute indoor mask mandates next week. They only dropped them a month ago, and now already a month later, they want to reinstitute them. These people are sick people. They're mentally ill. They're mentally ill people. They're control freaks.
Really fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they've got FEMA camps in Australia, and they're there to keep, temporarily house you if you're unvaccinated and you're traveling or whatever. That's what they say, but they can be quickly converted into a fucking gas chamber,
of course.
Right? And people are like ignorant
or a mass
of what
burial
they're doing.
ground.
They have no fucking clue.
Right.
Exactly. They're just going to fucking gas
that's
everybody.
Why we have to raise awareness now and get people on board with fully resisting this, further push to curtail human freedom. I can't even believe that people want it to happen. They want the politicians to do this. This is how crazy and sick and mentally ill and how they exist as fearful little children in our society. What's good that I have seen is at least the people who I have spoken to in this vicinity are upset about the possibility of them reinstituting the mask mandate and don't seem to want it. So I think people are reaching a breaking point in their frustration, even in a radically leftist city like Philadelphia that is totally leftist controlled. The public is still very frustrated with this happening and do not see it as necessary and are really sort of publicly even speaking out a little bit more.
They're still pretty naive.
Most of the public,
I go to
absolutely.
rallies here every Saturday at 1 o'clock. There's a rally in my town where I talk to this one lady, and she's they temporarily pull back on the mandates, and we got this. This is done. We got this settled, and I'm arguing with her like as politely as I can. No, these people are never going to go away. They've been doing this for thousands of years, last several hundred years more intensely. They're never going to just give up. We don't have this until like you say, anarchy. That's the only kind of government that's safe now, where we think for yourself and we can have our own decentralized community support governance. You can't trust centralized government at all anymore.
We have to give up the religion of the belief in human authority. There is no such thing in nature. All it leads to is disaster, ruin, and death, and slavery. And nobody says that they want those things, and yet they keep voting for and advocating for the very thing that will bring those really, really, really bad manifestations and results. And the only way that we're going to bring the opposite is by cutting down that belief system, getting rid of it. It's a parasite. It's a virus. It's a cult. And, that's what people have to realize is they have to purge that religion like a virus from a computer system. That's what's going to get the job done.
Yeah, and I'm putting some finishing touches on my main website, the redpilloftruth.com. I told you about that.
Yes.
The first time we talked, the redpilloftruth.com, and it's I'm putting all there about Mind Fear Trudeau and my connection to even the Ukraine war, because I've been to Ukraine. I don't like seeing what's happening in Ukraine because I did an international dating there. I dated women, and it really pisses me off. And I'm perpetually fired up of everything that's going on, right? And it's like I want to go on the attack. So I'm putting finishing touches on the site and love to work with you if we can.
Absolutely.
I got a little bit more religious way of looking at things, but it's not, a religion is offensive. I get it, right? But I put a spiritual spin on it. I do believe in natural law and conscience, and I even tie in the UFO phenomenon there. There's something real there, some non-human entities, and people are mystified by that, and they don't want to talk about that. But I say that's in the Bible, and I try to deconstruct all that too. But in light of the Mandela effect, it's like you can't even trust your Bible anymore because the Bible's being supernaturally changed. I don't know if you're aware of that.
I've heard some things about the whole Mandela effect. I kind of have reserved judgment and haven't really made a definitive decision about what I think about it. But I think a lot of it is, people remembering things incorrectly, but there were some things that were a little bit unusual that I had seen that I'd have to look further into. It's not something that I've spent a whole lot of time doing, but it does, some aspects of it sound kind of interesting, and I probably will look into it some more. But yeah, let's definitely, go ahead.
Well, there's actually the Matrix word is now in your King James Version Bible. Matrix, a modern word based off the movie. It's in your printed version. It's not just online trickery, computer trickery. Your printed versions are supernaturally changed. It's crazy, right?
Interesting. Give people...
And here's this one, everyone...
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
This one, everyone remembers this one from a kid. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven, has now been changed to in earth as it is in heaven.
You're kidding.
No, and that's in your printed version. Your King James Version at home will have a printed version changed. On has now says in.
Interesting.
You remember that one, I'm sure, right?
Of course, yeah. I mean, I think that's pretty clear. So I'd have to check into that one because that would be a pretty blatant one.
It is. And I point out to people and they don't care. It's like that's evidence of supernatural stuff. Your God-preserved memory, trust it, okay? That's being changed. What else has changed in that fucking Bible? You can't trust it at all anymore. You can't trust reality. You can't trust anything what you see necessary. Your five senses and your memories are being fucked with, and people are just...
Who knows how much technologically there is some form of interference that is so far beyond what we understand as technology that it could seem as magic. I mean, that is what a type 1.5 to 2 to 2.5 on the Kardashev scale civilization would look like to us. It would be indistinguishable from something that we would call supernatural.
Saying maybe the printed versions say on, but they're manipulating our minds to make we think we see in. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying who knows what technologically they may be able to tweak and or alter in our reality through technology. You know, if the civilization is advanced enough on, a scale of civilization such as the Kardashev scale. I mean, if you look in even modern science fiction like Star Trek Discovery this year, they were dealing with a civilization that was so advanced that its resource extraction technology could destroy entire solar systems at will, instantaneously, practically. And, they speculated that this civilization was like beyond a 2 on the Kardashev scale, which would be absolutely unfathomable to us. We would have no way of even dealing with what they are or how they did things or how they think or communicate. It would be the very, very essence of what we mean by the word alien. And it would seem beyond the natural to us because the technology would be so advanced, we'd have no way of even having a framework for understanding it. So, could be something like that. I'm not opposed to thinking of it in those terms. I just haven't made any definitive, I don't have a definitive take on it, but I will look at that alteration of the Bible and the Lord's Prayer that you just referenced and check into it. So, Dennis, give people your site once again, and let's talk about possibly collaborating or getting you onto One Great Work Network at some future point. But let people hear your website once again so they could check out your work.
Yeah, 5 words, theredpiloftruth.com or just redpiloftruth.com. I own both domains and just forward to each.
Great. Dennis, thank you so much for putting the work out there.
Redpiloftruth.com.
You got it. Thanks for putting your work out there as well.
I got one question for you.
Yes, sure.
Welcome. I got one question for you. A couple of weeks ago, I went to the washroom. I came back. You were talking about the 144,000. Do you remember that conversation? I'm just curious what you were talking about.
Yeah, I was just, talking about how few people really do stand in actual objective morality and will not back down from a moral stance of behavior when they're offered a lot of comfort or resources and money. There's very few people that will continue to do the right thing, even if they're offered a ridiculous sum of money. Like I was talking about, that most human beings on this planet will accept an amount of money to do something that is immoral. And I was talking about that me and my buddy Jay Parker, who does his own show on Revolution Broadcasting Weekly, we often talk and joke about this. We were talking about the researcher Maurice Cotterell. And Cotterell did a lecture on the Mayan calendar and just Mesoamerican calendrics and spirituality in general. And he basically brought up the biblical number, the allegorical, allegedly, number of 144,000, and said that's how many people will get to the kingdom of heaven, quote unquote. And we looked at it like that's how many people who are truly awake, going to make it past this dark soul harvest. How many people are truly moral. And me and Jay often joke like, we're nowhere near 144,000. That when we first hear that number in biblical terms, we're like, only 144,000? That seems awfully small. It seems very scarce. And then when we're thinking about it in today's terms of how many people are truly moral, truly resisting evil, truly will not compromise their value system for any amount of resources or money, it seems like an enormous amount, like that we'll never even hit 144,000. That's almost impossible. You know, we joke around about that, but we're not really too much joking around about it. We're kind of like saying like, yeah, I don't think we have those numbers, sadly. So that's what the conversation was about.
Yeah, I think symbolically too. I hear what you're saying. To me, it would be 144,000 all up and down the timeline throughout history. That might be 144,000 since days mankind became conscious till now, right?
Now maybe we're talking. Yeah, it might be an accurate number. Yeah.
But the biblical story of Elijah running from Jezebel, and God told him that he only has a symbolic 7,000 on the earth at any one time. That might be a little more accurate. But even at the time we're at, I think it's more like the story of Gideon. He only had 300, and yet he was able to destroy the Midianite army because God put fear on the Midianites and they killed each other. So maybe we only have like 300 all over the whole fucking world. But if we think positive and we don't think, and we oppose these fuckers, creation will support you, and we can still turn this thing around with only 300. But it's like
it supports courage, it supports hard work, it supports resilience, it supports never giving up. So great call, Dennis. Thank you, and I'm really happy that you brought those perspectives to the table. So, like I said, keep in touch, and we'll move forward and try to get you onboarded.
Sounds good. All right, thanks.
All right, take care. So another content creator, I think we're seeing a trend. You know, I think everybody would agree. It's good to hear. It's very encouraging that people are taking seriously putting the word out there and putting it out there from their own unique perspective, getting their own sites, their own channels. This is what I've wanted to see from day one, and clearly it's beginning. And we're, at least starting that process. So, great calls so far. Once again, you could join us on Discord, whatonearthishappening.com/Discord. Or if you're already viewing on the show page at whatonearthishappening.com/show, you can click the Discord widget to join the What on Earth is Happening call room on Discord. I'd like to hear some people give their take of my extended analysis of fake-ass anarchists, if they would. But again, I'm not purely limiting the call-in show to that, but I'd like to get some take on that before our time is up for this episode. So let's continue on and hear from some other people. Let's go to Dominic. Dominic, you're live on What on Earth is Happening. Welcome to the show. I've unmuted you from the server end. Just unmute yourself locally. Dominic W., you're live. Just unmute yourself on your Discord app. I can see you're still muted. I've unmuted you from my end. It's the other button. It was right next to that one that you just pressed. You deafened yourself briefly. It's the other, it's a little microphone button. It's muted at your end. All right, we will come back to Dominic. Dominic, just check your mic settings, and I'll come back to you. All right, let's go to Jeremy. Jeremy M., you're live on What on Earth is Happening. Welcome.
Hey, can you hear me,
Yes,
Mark?
I can. Welcome.
How you doing?
Not too bad. Yourself?
I'm good, thanks. So yeah, I'm going to continue the trend that you have going right now.
Okay.
I was a graduate of your tech class last year.
Great.
So
how did you
almost
find
done.
the entire seminar? Could you tell people what your general experience was like?
Yeah, so I have a bit of a background in tech. I have my MCSA.
Okay.
I never ended up going to work because the only job that was available to me was working for the government, and that wasn't an option. So I went into the health field.
Okay.
So that being said, when I did join the class, especially at first, when you were talking about like networking, that was pretty familiar to me. But everything that had to do with like graphic design and publishing and how you built your presentations, and also how you organized your computers and your machines. That was a big help to me, like how to structure everything
Right.
and how to use the desktop properly. And that was probably the biggest thing that I've learned.
Awesome.
Yeah, and that really gave me the necessary tools so that I could move forward and then, really engage myself in the one great work. And now I have a good tool set. So I'm almost done my website. It's called thejourneytofreedom.net.
Okay. I love to hear it. I
And-
love to hear this. This is exactly what I want to see occur, is people learning these skill sets and then putting them into practical action and putting their material out there in the way that they want to. So the website again, please.
Yeah, so it's thejourneytofreedom.net.
Awesome. Thejourneytofreedom.net. Great.
I'm almost done, finished that. And then I live in the country. So what I'm going to be doing is I have a buddy who has a studio, and I'm going to be shooting my podcast episodes over there.
Awesome.
That's going to be starting in May. And I'd like to have you on as my first guest.
Sure. Let's definitely set it up. And
Okay,
I'll let,
what's the best way to contact you?
again,
that?
just PM me on Discord, and hopefully we could get you onboarded onto the One Great Work Network. Also, it sounds like you've done a lot of great work, Jeremy.
Yeah, definitely. I'd love that.
Awesome.
And second thing I wanted to say, to touch back on your last presentation
Yes.
about the spiritual journey allegory
Yes.
that was embedded in the Great Pyramid.
Yes, a lot of people had
Yeah.
commented on that, and I got some pretty good feedback on that. What was your take on that whole allegorical viewpoint?
Oh, well, that was brilliant. I mean, it was very accurate. I work as a healthcare practitioner, so I can confirm on like the smaller scale of, individual people, because when I work with people, they come to me when they're in the pit, right? You called it, I think, the pit of Satanism and slavery.
Yes.
But when people come to me, they're broken, right? They're in that pit. They're stuck there. They've created so much suffering in their lives. They've victimized themselves. They've destroyed relationships, and basically it's either they have to change their behaviors and their mentation, or they're going out of existence, right? Some people come see me with chronic disease like cancer or diabetes or, all sorts of ailments like that.
Sure.
And I teach them that, this is actually a gift. I teach them to embrace their pain and view pain as a teacher, and that they've brought themselves right into this mess. And I think if people, worked, like you always say, right, doing the shadow work, doing the inner work, if people focused on themselves and worked on themselves, they'd have that opportunity to climb out of the pit. And that's just the beginning, right? Like just getting out of the pit is the first step.
Just not being in a total state of distress and pain, let alone getting to a place of health and comfort. That's a stepwise progression that you have to build to, but just getting to, as you said, to that point where you're not in a very distressed situation can be very difficult to do.
Yeah, exactly. And I just teach people the ABCs, right? I assess their breathing patterns. I teach them to drink water. I teach them to eat food. I just stick to the basics, right? Before I go into like the natural law and, go into more of like their mentation.
Right.
Because if their body's sick and out of order and they're in a fight or flight, high cortisol, high adrenaline, it's very hard to like talk to them about morality and truth. And they're just not equipped.
That's why there's such a multi-pronged attack on human consciousness through the biology, like directly through biology. It's a bio-warfare attack. You put people in a condition where they're so sick they can't think properly, and then, you can get them into any kind of manipulatory situation that you could even devise. So that's definitely part of the warfare operation to sabotage human health and from every conceivable endpoint that they can imagine. So I'm glad you're involved in work like that to give people the very basics of creating health and homeostasis and equilibrium in the body, because then that will lead to them awakening their mind, obviously.
Yeah, exactly. And then combining that with the website and then the podcast, because I do understand, like you helped me understand that it's, one-on-one is great, but if I can eternalize my voice and really get the message, hey, maybe I can reach, 10,000, 100,000, maybe 1 million people one day, right? Absolutely.
Anybody can do it if they set their mind to it and stay continuing with it with a persistent effort. I commend you for that. I'm glad to see so many people who are actively getting involved and putting their own work out there. That's what I want to see. I would definitely like to have you on the One Great Work Network at some future point as well. So definitely get in touch with me, and we'll talk about that.
Yeah, and I'll also be contacting you for the IPFS. I have a group of people that are interested in setting that up, so we can, do all that interview and then talk about the IPFS.
Great, Jeremy. That sounds perfect. I mean, I definitely want more people on board with that whole project. Like I said, it's off to a bit of a slow start, but I think we'll be able to turn that around and get more people on board with that as well. So, yeah, let's definitely talk about that for sure, too.
All right. Well, I'll reach out on Discord, Mark. You enjoy the rest of your day, brother. And, keep at it, man. You've been a big inspiration for me. So thank you for that.
Thank you, my friend. You keep doing the work, too. Thanks.
Will do.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Awesome. Continued theme. I love it. Great callers. Thank you so much to the callers so far. I'm sure it will continue along that vein. So with that in mind, let's go over to... Let's hear from Jerry. Jerry T., you are live on What on Earth is Happening. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Mark. How's it going?
Good.
Can you hear me all right?
Coming through loud and clear.
Thank you, Mark. I'm going to make this quick. So, first of all, Mark, we have the same birthday.
Really?
Which is pretty cool.
Awesome.
We do. That's right.
Both Leos.
Both Leos, both plant-based. So I'm going to make it, I'm going to tell you my situation, which is I'm in the military right now, active duty.
Okay.
And your work inspired me to, willfully get myself discharged. So right now I'm in the process of getting kicked out, and I don't care about getting a dishonorable discharge or nothing like that. I was just super glad to, start from podcast number 1 to, this podcast, to be able to tell you that.
That's awesome news, and I'm very glad to see that you're following your conscience. So that's ultra commendable, Jerry. Thank you for that.
For sure. I'm also in autonomy.
Great group. Yeah, Richard Grove's group, Autonomy, just awesome. They're doing similar things to what I do with How to Become the True Media, as far as teaching people general life skills and methods to do all kinds of things, not just in the technological world. So he's teaching general life competency and skill sets along with his group, Autonomy, and they've helped out my operation here at What on Earth is Happening in many ways, and continue to do so. So, I definitely, have one of their banners on my site to help people, become aware of them. And if they feel like it's a good fit for them to even take courses that they offer. And they're doing some excellent work out there.
Absolutely. I would love to be a part of the Quit Your Cult website that you're going to...
This is what I want to start building people for. I want to start building a lot of these examples and have people prepared to just relate their personal anecdotes of what happened, what led them to see the truth, how they went about, removing themselves from these institutions, and just tell their story and let people see they're not alone, that other people have seen the light and seen what they've been involved in, and they don't have to turn it totally against themselves and become more self-loathing, that they can simply make the decision to do the right thing no matter how uncomfortable. And I'd love to just build that up as like a support community for people doing this, So like I said, it's probably about a year away or so, but I am going to eventually make that priority and do this project. So I want to start sort of almost like right away, getting people involved who do want to be a part of it. So you sound like it would be an ideal fit.
Yes, Mark. I also signed up for the How to Become a True Media seminar.
For this year?
And yes.
Excellent.
and I plan on putting out work out there.
Well, we will
That's
definitely teach you those skill sets for certain. That I can assure you. You'll come out on the other side knowing a whole lot more and be in a position to be able to do that type of technical work to get the word out to other people. So I'm really glad that you're on board with the seminar this year. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to having you in the class.
Thank you for everything, Mark.
Absolutely. Jerry, thanks so much for the call. Very, very inspiring. Stay in touch with me through Discord, and we will definitely have you on board for the Quit Your Cult project. So thanks so much for the call. Very inspirational. Thank you.
No.
Sorry, I accidentally muted you there. You can just wrap up there.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said no worries.
You got
Have a great rest of your day.
You too. Thank you. All right. Well, see, that is, to me, that's the biggest, I don't even know how I could word it. That is the ultimate of what I am really trying to accomplish, is to get people not to continue to support and be part of this control system anymore and live a life that is not based in violence and based in following orders that are immoral. So I think we're going to build up something really, really powerful with the Quit Your Cult website when I eventually take it off of being a pointer domain and actually start building a website using that domain. I think it's going to help a lot of people. So let's move on to another caller, and let's hear from my friend John Penwell. You're live on What on Earth is Happening. John is a future One Great Work Network content creator. We've onboarded him. He's in the process of starting to build his material on the site, and John was for a while, and really still is once we start doing a full production again. He was my secondary producer for What on Earth is Happening and supported Mike as my primary producer. So John, welcome to the show. What do you have for us today?
Can you hear me, Mark?
Coming through loud and clear.
That's awesome, man. Listen, so there I was, I had died for the second time, and I got scooped up and put in a jail system again. And I was a scumbag, and I was like peeling layers of the onion back for years and years and gathering knowledge, I knew that there was something more to my life, that there could be something more for my life. And I started studying all this esoteric stuff, and I knew the symbolism was like a huge part of what was going on. So
sure.
I was out there on state parole, and I'm looking around and I'm watching all these symbology videos, and I came across one that you're involved with, where you break down the symbology of 9/11 and everything else, man. And you started off with the torch, and what a seminar, man. It blew me away. I had to watch it several times, to really let that information and the definition of the symbolism involved with everything sink in, man. And I was so overwhelmed with your presentation that I started following you. And Mark, I you helped me cultivate the 8th principle, which is the principle of care, man. It's the one, it's like the wheel that turns the entire 7 principles of the Hermetic Code in the correct direction.
That's right.
And it's the intention of one's heart. I say it all the time. The foundation of my reality. My intention is the foundation of my reality. If I have good intentions, my reality is good. And if I have bad intention, my reality is all messed up, man. And I really appreciate just being in your presence, I've been able to be around you on a very personal level, man. And just, before the show, kicking off the different vegan things that I could get involved with, and, just to live better, and watching you press your own supplements and, all the herbal things that you're involved with, man. I learned so much just by being in your presence, Mark, and I appreciate you.
Thank you, John. I really appreciate that. That means a lot.
I learned a lot about computers being around you as well. I took the course to how to become the true media, and all the people involved. You're talking about the fake ass anarchist, man. Let me just tell you something. all the people involved with this One Great Work Network, all the back end people that have been involved with the seminar creations, the back engineering of everything, the instructions, the instructional videos,
Yep.
like all the things involved with onboarding. Like
so many people did such good hard work regarding it, and still do,
And the presentation for the True Media, I was in the first class. I met so many people afterwards. Like we would have conversations, and like this was in the beginning throes of the pandemic and the scamdemics and all this other stuff. And, like we were all able to like link up and like have a connection.
Yep, definitely.
And it was great. So,
it did start at an opportune time where I think people needed those types of connections. And, again, as John is talking about here, we there's a networking and friendship aspect of it as well, because we don't just have classes. After every class for a couple of hours, so the class starts at 8 and ends at 11. That's 3 hours of formal instruction. So I'm teaching and sharing my screen, and it's just like, the show. It's the length of time for an entire What on Earth is Happening episode, a whole 3-hour class. But that's not where we break. We then bring in everybody as a speaker and just let everybody talk amongst each other and have a huge informal discussion where people can start learning more about other students in the class if they so choose. No one is forced to participate in that. It's at your own discretion if you want to participate in the after-class discussion. But it sort of starts building a community vibe aspect where then people get to know each other, and they could even help and support in each other's work. So that's also what the How to Become the True Media seminar is about. So the seminar is designed to be interactive. It's designed that people can interact with me. I can show them stuff from my experience. I could help them and do, even help them get their setups the way they want. I even offer some troubleshooting to people during the classes occasionally. So it's a very interactive thing. People can ask questions. I'll give you the answers to your questions to the best of my knowledge and my experience. And then afterward, again, you could talk to both me and the students, and we have that, again, as John said, like that community type connection where we all know that we're there for similar reasons, and we all want to see the same things. We all have that same intention that we're bringing to the table, and then people could get to know each other, network a little bit, and help each other out on that path, on that journey. That's really what the whole How to Become the True Media seminar is all about. It's for that interactive purpose and for that connective purpose. So thanks for bringing that to the table and letting the viewers be aware of that, John, and I just wanted to expand on that there. So go ahead and continue.
So with the True Media, like not only did I get to meet a lot of people, but I have a very graphic design background, so like I came at this with like very poor organization skills, and my versatility was fair, but it wasn't as good as your versatility, like what you taught in the class. And I appreciate the fact that as a graduate of the class that I could come back in on any other classes in the future. I'm scholarshiped in, and that's awesome, man.
Well, you're scholarshiped in because you're a member of One Great Work Network. We don't scholarship all alumni of former classes, but since you've been onboarded to One Great Work Network, all content creators and all helpers on the network who are part of what we call the middle end team, which is our liaison team to our content creators and producers who do live production on the video server for content creators who do live shows, have been given a scholarship to How to Become the True Media 2022. We'll continue to give scholarships each year to people on the One Great Work Network. I find that that's very important to keep them abreast of all the technical stuff, and so I just want them at their own choosing. I'm just allowing them into the Telegram group and to take the seminar totally unrestrained without having to even give a donation. Their donation is their content on the network. That's really everybody's donation and helping with the network. That's why I'm scholarshiping everybody in who is an actual member of the One Great Work Network.
Right. And, like just overall, like, like who isn't the fake anarchist? You know what I mean? Like all the people involved with the great work, the One Great Work Network, what on earth is happening, all the people that have been involved with all the different types of meetings and seminars that we've been involved with that I was able to help out and just be a part of it, man. Like there's just this example, like Mark, like me walking down the street, man, wearing your shirt, like I'm on the boardwalk and I run into this guy, Joshua Moonshine. He's an artist on the boardwalk. And I'm wearing your shirt, and like he's like thrilled to death to meet me because I'm a friend of yours, like because we have that same common interest of like getting the message of freedom, truth, and love out to the people.
Nice.
Man. And
which boardwalk was this? Atlantic City, Wildwood?
No, it was Wildwood, but like JoshuaMoonshine.com. You guys can find him. He's a great artist, man. He's got stuff, but like just to have that connection with different people, like we run into our tribe. When we wear the right material, when we wear the right propaganda, when we wear the right symbolism,
exactly.
Like we run into our tribe everywhere. So
you ran into somebody at the Jersey Shore. That's awesome.
Yeah, and it happens. This kind of stuff happens, and of course, like like wearing the different the different gifts that you offer, for people, like you get to have a conversation with people that are like, what are you talking about? What is natural law? What is the science and natural? All the different things that go with that.
Right.
And. Yeah, so I'm just like overwhelmed and impressed, man, with your plan to get the message out with the channel and all the people that have gotten involved, man. We are not the fake anarchists.
That's right.
You know what
That's
I mean?
right.
Like, and people need to take after our lead, man, and what we've been doing. I work with the dross. I've been on those platforms where I'm constantly getting banned and thrown off. But my hashtag is principle of care.
That's right.
Hashtag principle of care. You can find me everywhere. I'm all over the damn place. I try to get my message all over. But now, like they banned me so much, so I switched it up. It's hashtag the lost principle. And you can find me at thelostprinciple.com.
Nice.
Because all the actions that I've had in my life, and I was on the verge of doing all this when I met you, I was involved with, running nonprofit recovery housing. I was trying to approach people with a very holistic, open-minded, free setting of, being able to get people have their dark night of the soul. I've had many dark nights of the soul to get to where I am today. And like for people to do that and like how you talk about that, like people really have to like break down and understand that they are part of a brainwashed, processed agenda. And the narrative that's in place is falling apart, and we're watching it fall apart. And we as a collective can do something about this. Me and you have had this conversation.
Definitely.
We need a majority collective. We need momentum and speed, and we're really moving in the right direction in a lot of things. And I appreciate you because, like I said, you're planning to get the message out, and the different people that work with you, and like the amount of effort and care you put into every single aspect and thing that you do, Mark, is amazing. The organization. Like the layout, like just when we were doing the show, like there was always a printout of, how to proceed, like how to operating procedures, like, and every
week I still run that standard operating procedure every week. And it really helps to be organized in that capacity, truly helps, and it helps you to avoid pitfalls and mistakes and errors. And there's always still going to be some little things, snags that you're going to hit. And then you got to be persistent. You got to power through it. You got to work through it. You can't give up.
Yeah. Yeah, so the other thing is like me, like I've running around the city of Philadelphia, I'm driving around in a limo wearing a bulletproof vest. I'm going back and forth between meetings, recovery houses, picking people up at jails, all this stuff. And the limo's name's Angel, because the enemy rides around in the Beast. I ride around in Angel, right? You've seen Angel. I think you've
that limo is awesome, man.
Yeah, so we still got the limo. I'm trying to do a bunch of different things. And
I'm glad it's still going. That's great.
Excited to be on board with the One Great Work Network and all the content creators involved and all the people involved with the technical back end of it. I'm so excited, Mark.
Absolutely. John, thank you for being a part of it. We're really looking forward to your content. Give people your website again, and everybody keep on the lookout for John Penwell. I just onboarded him this week. He's going to be making content for the One Great Work Network, and his blog will be on the site very shortly. But give people whatever websites you want to give them, leading them to your work.
Yeah, and just, like a little bit of courage. A little bit of courage is what we get from you, Mark. Like for us that are involved with this, the boots on the ground concept. Like, like I'm running around, I do all kinds of things in actual physical world, and then I'm trying to do all this stuff in the virtual world. But being on board with the One Great Work Network, it gave me purpose to organize my content into one location, which is thelostprinciple.com. You can find all my material there. It's actually being hosted by Odyssey, but the links are there. So you just click on the link that's appropriate. I would start at episode 1. And that's the other thing too, for a lot of people that are watching, if you haven't gone back and watched from the beginning, to catch, just to be up to speed on every single aspect, get yourself the arc, turn off the regular mainstream crap that's flowing. They're coming at us with all different kinds of stuff, but it's falling apart, and we see it. The other thing I wanted to say was, let me see here, because I wrote it down. Yeah, meeting more people, scholar. Oh yeah, so, the central hub that you said, putting all my content in one place, man.
Exactly.
I really appreciate that. And now I can just go and say, hey, look, I'm thelostprinciple.com.
Right.
It's not very hard to find. And, everything that I was doing out there and everything I try to do when I'm involved with you or other people, other organizations, nonprofits, just generalized people on the street, I work a lot with addictions. And a lot of people don't know this, Mark, and it's very serious. They showed us with the lab rats and the testing that they've done, that thimerosal actually affects the dopamine receptors in the brain. So people that are running around with addictions, or it's not an addiction, it's actually you have an increased deficient craving in your dopamine center.
From what you've been injected with throughout life. Yeah,
absolutely.
Absolutely.
Listen to me, we have been at war since day one.
That's right.
We didn't have a fighting chance from day one.
This is bio-warfare is going on in addition to Psy-war. They're totally connected with each other.
Weather weapons, there's all kinds of stuff going on. But the other thing is you were talking about some some fringe stuff, in this episode you were just talking about that. And for people that don't have any clue, go to remote viewing, search the word remote viewing under the CIA, declassification site, and you'll see that these people have the ability to go anywhere in time or space in a thought projected process.
Sure. Look at the First Earth Battalion of the United States military and how many Psy warfare type operations they were even looking into and researching. A lot of people don't know about that First Earth Battalion. Then they made a movie about it called The Men Who Stare at Goats, and John Ronson wrote a book about it, and they made a movie based on that book. But it's all based on First Earth Battalion.
Yeah, so the other thing I wanted to say real quick was, I retired from my position. I resigned because of the mandated vaccines. And I didn't have a huge, listen to me, I didn't have a huge bank account. I didn't have, any kind of means of support or anything like that. But the birds of the air, I worry for nothing because I act with care. I act with good intention today. And, the universe will provide for you if you do that. And that's what's been going on. I'm surrounded by great people. My friend Bobby from the Principle of Perseverance, he started, we're all recovering drug addicts, junkies, they're self-centered pricks. And we're out here doing something to try to help people.
That's right. I know you've been involved in the recovery world for a long time and doing fantastic work in those endeavors. And to have had to resign because of the mandates is disgusting. Because I know that was a huge part of your life.
Yeah, it killed me. It killed me, and but it was a statement, for the people that are in my life that didn't know how serious I feel about this.
You got to do the right thing, and you can't capitulate to their demands. Yeah.
And the whole thing is how much I love to do this.
Sure.
I was working 70, 80 hours a week inside these facilities, and I walked out because I am not. It's principles. Principles first.
That's right.
You can find me on Facebook under Principles First. You can find me by my name, John Chichester III, John Penwell Chichester III. St. John is what they're calling me on the streets because I ride around helping people.
Awesome nickname.
But just to one other thing, you mentioned something about the 144,000. You could do some research on this. There's supposed to be 144,000 nerve centers inside of our neural network in our brain. So this is an inside job. Of course, it could happen and manifest in the actual physical world, which it probably will, this 144,000, but it is an internal job.
Oh yeah, I don't even really see it as a physical number. We kind of just joke about that, but it's interesting allegorically. Could it mean these neural connections that, when they're finally firing, the person is operating on all cylinders and is really, going full steam ahead in the spiritual war, and they're fully awake? I mean, it could be some type of an allegory physiologically like that about, as you said, the human nervous system. It's an interesting take on it.
But the last thing I'm going to end on this note, Mark, and I really appreciate everything you've ever done for me and everything that you do for the people that are involved with you, getting involved with the One Great Work Network and all the back end stuff. But just your personal attitude towards like we're going to keep going no matter what. They're going to have to kill us. They're going to have to put us in the fucking ground. Right. We're not going to stop. Right. We're not going to stop. The 144,000. We were in our first class. And we were messing around with the computers, and I recorded all this stuff, screen recorded. But you Google searched your name, and it came up. There was 144,000 results.
That's pretty funny.
That?
Yeah,
Do you remember that?
Yeah, vaguely. Yes. That's pretty great.
I'm going to end on that note, but I really appreciate being involved with you, Mark. I'm always available to you and anyone that you point me in the direction of that's involved with the One Great Work Network.
Absolutely, John. Looking forward to your content, ladies and gentlemen. John Penwell of One Great Work Network, thelostprinciple.com, correct?
Yes, sir.
That's
Thank
it.
you so much.
John, thank you so much, my friend. Have a great one. Awesome material that you brought up there in the call. Thanks so much for your call.
Thank you.
You got it. Yeah, I consider John is not only a creator on One Great Work Network. I consider John a personal friend of mine. So, thank you, John, for all of your support in my endeavors and all the ways that you've helped out and helped things to go more smoothly here with my work. Thank you. All right, let's go to another caller, and let's hear from Leiden. Leiden, you are live on What on Earth is Happening. Welcome to the show.
Hold on 1 second. Hello?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Coming through loud and clear.
Sorry about that. My name's Dave. I had to switch the name because of the little alphabetical order thing you got going on. How's it going,
No
Mark?
problem. Welcome, Dave.
That's crazy that John just spoke because his story's identical to mine. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I grew up in Boston. I'm a city kid myself. You guys get very distinct accents, hoogies, wah-wahs, all that type of stuff. And I was down there, and I had to get off right in North Philly, and it just made some of my neighborhoods look like, paradise. It was brutal.
That's a tough area. Kensington and that area is really, really bad right now with drugs and poverty. North Philly can be parts of it can be very, very bad with drugs and poverty. It's there's areas of Philadelphia that you really probably don't want to visit at all. It's that bad in certain areas of the city, with how bad leadership, how bad education is. The people running this city don't care about the people of this city. It's a mafia operation that is all about just putting money in their pockets, and they could care less about the people who are suffering very badly in this city. There's certain, I have been in those areas, and I have seen video of these areas within Philly, and it's so bad I can barely watch the videos.
It looks like the Dawn of the Dead. Yeah, I've seen them too. It's pretty bad. It's very bad, actually. It reminds me of Mass Ave, where I'm from.
It's a shame. It's heartbreaking to see that that's what has happened in areas of my own city. And that's what happens under radical leftist and extreme socialist leadership of people who want to take the country in a direction like this. That they're not going to. It's not going to get any better going down that path.
Not at all.
No.
And they're bought and paid for. We all know that. That's blatantly obvious.
Sure.
Like our mayor, he's actually from Chicago, from that, from basically, I would call it the school of communism in that city.
Yeah.
Where all these people like Obama and all of them, who, like, the outfit comes
It's
from,
crime, centralized crime hub. I mean, let's face it, it's a central organized crime hub, and the mob and different mafias have been organized through there and, go out into other, their tentacles spread out into just about every city, but certainly leftist-run, Democrat-controlled cities. And, they've been doing running the same operations, for well over 100 years in metropolitan America and in most cities that, have over a population of over 100,000 people in America for sure.
Yeah, and it's weird because like I said, John's story is pretty identical to mine. Like, I got out of prison 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. I did a few years, did 5.5 years, came home, changed my life around, I started looking into this stuff, and I thought I was awake and I had no clue. I had no clue at all. But now I have pretty much a concept of what is going on. And, we are losing, like you say, we are losing so badly right now, and people actually think we're winning at this, and we are not even close to even like really stepping on the real battlefield as far as I'm concerned.
The process is just at the point where it's starting to make a little bit of an uptick, I would say, and I don't want to get people's hopes up by even wording it like that, but we're at the beginning stages of something. You can see that now people are realizing they have to move it away from I kind of understand what's going on to I need to act and I need to put this material out for other people. I'm glad to see that people are starting to get that message and starting to put that into practice. For me, that's an encouraging sign because that's what it's all ultimately about. We're not going to see that major improvement on any kind of a global scale until people get that basic message that it's not just about you waking up, it's about you helping others to wake up. That's what makes the process go viral.
And I make it a mission to confront people every day about these type of aspects, and I actually not a long time ago, but a few years ago when I got out, I started a YouTube channel. I made some videos, I wasn't getting any views, so I got discouraged and, I got into kind of a rut. But now I feel like it's my duty to like start putting this information out there on a mass scale, like people are doing,
right. And it's just, you definitely can do it. It is a matter of simply learning some basic techniques, getting a little bit of, skill sets under your belt and developing a little bit of confidence, and you'll be able to do it. No question about it.
It's really not the confidence aspect. It's more like the capital. Like I need to invest. Like I mean,
there's some of that. That's definitely a part of it. Not going to lie. Equipment costs money.
It is.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like and unfortunately, like I'm trying to remove myself from this system, and it is like next to impossible to permanently do that. Like because we're all tied to the birth certificate. Basically the slavery system.
Sure.
That's what we're locked into, and I've been trying to remove myself from that, but it just seems impossible, especially if you want to use digital assets to be able to get this information out to people. Like for me personally,
I mean, I know a lot of people who try to go that route, and I'm not telling people not to if that's what they feel is their optimum path, but I just look at it like I want to take the war to the place of cause. And the major place of the cause is the human mind and what people believe. If people stop
Yeah.
believing in that, no one will go do the job to enforce any of those things. And that's where we need to get the world. We need to get the world where they simply walk away from this cult called authority, this cult called government. And then we don't need to do any tricks or magic or court things that, try to get us our rights back restored to us or whatever.
That's not going to work.
Right.
That would never work anyway. It's their system. You're not going to win in their system,
Exactly. So, I'm not just fully knocking that. I'm saying if that's what people want to do to go see if they can punch whatever loopholes in, but long term, really at a deep fundamental level of cause, right? Is that really solving anything? Or are you just finding some type of a loophole within their system that you can find a little corner in to say, I've developed a little bit more comfort for myself in my own personal life? I'm really not that interested in doing that, right? I am interested in changing minds. That's the war front that I'm going to be fighting on, not trying to find legal loopholes in their corrupt system, in their illusory system, So I've just taken a different approach to what I consider the solution to be.
Yeah, I'm trying to build like a domain, like get my own website, build it up, make it technologically sound.
That's right.
And I definitely want to get in that seminar, that the how to be a true media seminar.
We will show you all of those types of skills. We discuss all of that with domains, hosting, all of it, and better ways to go about managing a website, etc. So if you do go into the seminar, these are some of the skill sets that are taught for sure.
No, yeah, definitely. I mean, I would really appreciate being able to do that, but a couple paychecks, save it up. I'm from the city, like I said, and rent in Boston is just utterly ridiculous. I'm paying $2,100 for a one bedroom.
Wow.
Yeah, so yeah, it's like that right now. So just being able to, like I said, get the capital,
right,
and just be able to invest in a technologically sound thing that can produce this information and get it out. And, with these sheeple out here, I think starting small, very, very small, because there's a lot of very low IQ individuals. Not like IQ is everything, but people have no common sense anymore. Yep. Definitely no street smarts.
Yep.
Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
My older self, oh my God, there'd be so many victims out here. It's just not even funny. But I don't want to hold you hostage, but I would love to get in that seminar and teach, natural law and like what is going on in this world, like to people that just do not get anything. If I see one more Ukrainian flag on the house, I'm going to burn it.
I like your idea of starting small because people have been disadvantaged, in their intellectual acumen, let's say, through the school system, through the pharmaceutical cartels, through the food industry, etc. So it's good to break things down into small, manageable size chunks for them, and give people some type of an operation like that where you can go and get very basic information. I think it's a good strategy. My strategy may be slightly different than that, where I give long form seminars, etc., and presentations and shows, but we can have different strokes for different folks. You know what I mean? That could be one of your roles as a content creator, to give them in small, manageable, bite-sized pieces. Nothing wrong with doing it that way.
I just
people prefer it that way.
There's no need to, we'll just use the term, wake people up that are already awake or allegedly awake. I just feel like that serves no purpose and it's redundant, so maybe just, little breadcrumbs for the masses, they'd be able to go there, look at it, and then look into deeper information and, go down their own little rabbit hole.
Exactly. You got to pick up small weights before you could pick up big barbells. You know what I mean? That's just the way it works. You got to build that skeletal musculature, and then you could start doing more heavy lifting. So it's a stepwise progression.
And gear it more towards like people that are from the streets and people that'll actually, when the shit hits the fan, maybe people will actually have some balls and like join on if it comes to that.
I think it sounds like
on
a
physical
pretty
battlefield.
good plan, Dave, and persist with it. And I think you could definitely make something like that happen, and start creating content on your own. That's what this is all about, and I'm glad you're on the path to doing that, my friend.
All right, thanks, Mark. I appreciate your time, brother.
You got it, man. Thank you for the call, Dave.
All right, thanks. Take care.
Awesome. All right. Let's go to Rory. Rory, you are live on What on Earth is Happening. Welcome.
Hey, can you hear me, Mark?
Yes, I can.
Hey, I'm from Australia. Last week and the weeks before, you've been talking about anarchism.
Yes.
Yeah. Particularly here with the election coming up, there's been this sort of leftist anarchic spike of protests around the place, like pitch invasions at sport
and are you seeing that they
themselves up at docks?
Are you seeing that they're the controlled opposition types of anarchists, like the agents provocateurs?
Yeah, so with the thing they did at Botany Bay Docks, which is like a shipping facility, they locked themselves up down there, and the government introduced a bunch of new laws very coincidentally about limits on protests around the place.
Wow.
In response to that. So you can't show up to main facilities like that anymore because they consider that, I don't know.
So they're totally curtailing freedom of
transgression.
assembly, freedom of protest, freedom of speech. It's disgusting.
Yeah, and
what's the status of the COVID measures? Are they still being very draconian in that, or did that loosen any in Australia?
I think they have to loosen it up because I think people are just fed up.
So are they still doing mask mandates and vaccine mandates, or did they drop those restrictions?
They're pretty much dropped, but occasionally you do see people that wear the masks around, which
half the city, half
head.
of Philadelphia still wears masks, even though the outdoor mask mandate was dropped months ago, not just weeks ago, months. People even outdoors, not even inside, are still wearing masks in the city. They're full on board with the whole cult aspect of it. It's very, very disturbing to see. Yeah, for sure.
Well, yeah, you're talking about, I think a couple months ago, about that K-Pax movie.
Oh, yeah.
And reminds me of that hypochondriac guy in the asylum.
Yep. Great movie.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, well, this country, I don't know. It's weird because I think I've seen one presentation of yours about the American Revolution, which is very interesting. But I think what the English did after that was they took all of their lessons they learned and applied it particularly to this country.
I would agree. Absolutely.
And you can just see the prison colony setup.
Right.
I don't know. I think America had, in Virginia, one of the biggest convict states in the world at its time.
Right.
Similar to Australia. And man, just here that no one understands any ideas about rights, and they have this expression called cut the tall poppy down. So basically everyone's on the same level playing field, and if you speak up, everyone's just going to outcast you, social ostracism, all that kind of stuff.
Amazing.
And, it's pretty sick, this society.
It's kind of a shame because America in many ways, at least in early days of America, Australia and Australians were looked at as, tough do-it-yourselfers, people who were self-reliant. And it's really sad that they've taken on that collectivist mindset in modern days because it sort of undermines really the spirit of what the country was really originally about. And I feel like that's what's going on here in America as well. And that's what social engineers will do. They will continue to just brainwash people. They'll inculcate them into their belief system. They will indoctrinate them through what they, call the education system, which is nothing but more cult brainwashing, until they have a population that's doing that. They're self-policing. They're, getting up in others of their own kind's faces when they speak out against what's really being done that is wrong to their own people. Amazing. Wanting to literally stop the speech and curtail the speech of their own people who are trying to act in the people's best interest, and the very members of their own people are trying to silence them and trying to make them conform. That's how you know brainwashing was done to a high level. It was done correctly from the point of view of the social engineers. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I think you've brought up a number of times, and you see it a lot on the internet, about the gun control history in this country. And
sure,
man,
with the Port Arthur event, the Port Arthur false flag event really started it in earnest in Australia, and that. I mean, once that occurred and the public bought it wholesale and bought the government narrative and decided, we're going to allow politicians to pass laws to ban, semi-automatic rifles, etc. That is taking a massive, massive, massive power check away from all forms of government in that entire continent. So it's sad that it was fallen for.
Not even. Well, yeah, it's not even just government as well, because it was a government gun buyback. So at some level, it was the public responsible, I'd say, more so than the government buying into the bullshit.
And not only does that make people vulnerable to government power, it makes them vulnerable to average criminals as well.
Well, yeah, and the education here, they bang on, even at the university level, about essay writing about how gun violence and stuff has improved since the introduction of those gun laws, and it's you're getting
it's a skewed statistic, because all forms of violence have remained the same. It's just people have chosen different tools to perform the violence with. If they look at it from that, characteristic, from that type of a statistical viewpoint, they're going to see, no, it hasn't really changed anybody's attitude when it comes to performing violence. That's going to be there unless people learn morality. You're not going to teach people not to conduct violence just by taking a weapon away from them. They'll go find a different weapon, or they'll do it with their body, with no weapon. Violence is going to be there until people are taught objective morality and how to align their behavior to it by an act of their will. And you have to do that from a young age with most people. And, that's why control will never work. Gun control, government control, any type of control is not the answer. The answer is true education regarding objective morality, and that's always been the answer. And anybody who is thinking about the situation from a truly logical perspective and point of view is going to come to that conclusion at some point. And that's how you know that government agents, government agencies, politicians, they don't want things to improve. They want things to degenerate so they can continue to justify the control they already have over society and seize even more. That's why they want things to get worse and worse and be more violent. They're not interested in educating people and stopping violence from an educational perspective. They want all that chaos and violence out in society so they can say, hey, look at how violent everybody is. You need government to protect you from that. And they don't even really protect you from it. They just say that they're protecting you from it in the name of safety, and then institute their controls to put slavery into effect. That's all government ever has done and ever will do, and people just have to wise up to the scam. They have to wise up to the scheme. It's organized crime, it's occultism, it's a mafia, it's all of those things put together operating to institute human slavery. None of it's in our interest. We don't need it. We never have needed it. What we need is proper moral education. That's the only thing that will solve the problem. Nothing else.
Couldn't agree more.
So,
I've started on making attempts at a video as well.
Great.
For YouTube as well.
Great. And how is it going?
Just in the draft process, kind of just recording my voice and trying to see what I need to say and limit.
See, that's making a start. You know what I mean? And then you could get a feel for it, learn the software, and before you know it, you'll be making a pretty awesome video. It's really, there's nothing to this but to begin doing it. You know, the old saying, there's nothing to it but to do it. You'll hit snags, you'll hit problems. We all do. I hit them. You just saw me hit some problems earlier in this very show, right? But it's about sitting and working through it, refining the art form, getting better at it, getting more comfortable with the tool set that you're using. And then you're going to, see you'll probably be making an awesome documentary at some point, or just an awesome short form film at some point. And you'll look back and go, that wasn't actually even as hard as I thought it was going to be. So this is what I want to try to inspire more people to do. Just put your hands on the tool set, use it, find out how it works, explore, get comfortable with it, lose your fear of using it, lose your fear of failing at doing it, because you won't do it perfectly. Nobody just sits and starts using something perfectly the first time. It's no such thing, right? You make errors and you make mistakes and you fail to learn. And then you learn what not to do and you refine your process, and then eventually you're doing it really well and efficiently. That's what it's all about. So, Rory, I want to thank you for beginning that process, and keep us abreast of your work. Call in, or just let me know with a private message, and I'll definitely check out your work. Do you have a website or a YouTube channel yet, or an Odyssey channel? Anything you wanna plug?
Not yet. I'm still trying to figure out the name, but yeah, okay. I'll get around to it.
You got it. Well, best of luck, and
thanks, Mark.
If you want to look at the How to Become the True Media as a future resource, that'll be there for you as an option as well. So thank you for beginning. That's what it's ultimately all about, is stepping onto that playing field and getting started.
Cheers, mate.
Absolutely. Thank you for the call. All right. Let's see. Who else do we have on the line here? Let's hear from Alan. Alan, you're live on What on Earth is Happening. Welcome.
G'day, Mark. How are you?
Not bad. Yourself?
You?
Yes, you're coming through loud and clear.
Good. Yeah, I'm from Australia too.
Okay.
Just listened to the last caller, Rory. I think I've seen him online somewhere here or there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I used to be a moderator for Vinnie Eastwood.
Oh, cool.
You know Vinnie Eastwood?
Yes, I was actually recently recently on his show. He did a dual interview with myself and David Icke not too long ago. Went really well.
Yeah, it was a great show. Yeah, I've actually started a show myself. Actually,
okay.
I was influenced by Vinnie to start the work, shall we say? And you get a bit nervous every now and then, but
that's going to happen, yeah, of course.
A little message to Rory, if he's still listening, mate. Mm-hmm. Keep at it, mate. It's we've all got to get the word out, and just keep on doing it. I've
speak the truth, even if you're. The idea is speak the truth, even if your voice shakes. Everybody gets nervous from time to time. Yes. Everybody makes mistakes. Keep going, push through it, and you'll never look back. You'll sit and wonder, why was I ever all wound up and worried about that? It worked out fine, So go ahead, continue.
Well,
Alan.
That's right. Yeah, well, well, I've actually done 12 shows so far.
Great.
Do you mind if I mention
Sure.
my YouTube channel?
Sure, go right ahead.
Yeah, Amos. My YouTube channel is Amos 777.
Spell that out. Spell that out.
Yep. AMOS 777.
IMOS 777. Great.
AMOS 777. Yeah.
Great.
Amos is my nickname. And my shows is called Soon. It's news, just spelt differently. Actually, no, it's news spelt differently. The word soon, SEWN, it's the word news jumbled up.
Okay.
Sort of thing. And that's how I came up with that, and it's just an idea. And I start off the show with just going over a few media reports in the mainstream media and what I think of them. And I've had a couple of guests on. I don't know if you know Decay from New Zealand.
Not off the top of my head.
No, okay. Well, he's Vinny knows him.
Okay.
And I actually had on me show number 11. I actually had Vinny on.
Great.
It was my longest show ever. It was a two-hour show.
Awesome.
And it was I'm still learning at this sort of thing, and it's well, I've got about 150 subscribers so far, and
not bad.
And that'll about 20 subscribers.
Yeah, that'll build and build. You know, that it doesn't always go very fast, but you'll steadily build it upward, and that's what it's about.
No, well, I realise that, and I'm in no hurry.
Sure,
but the world
the more persistent,
being a bit of a hurry lately, isn't it?
Yeah, the more persistent and consistent that you are with your material, you'll see that subscriber base build faster as you do that consistently. So yeah, they're going along with their steady pace. This is what we need to do, is just build in a steady progression and have many more people get on board and involved. And I'm just glad to see, over the weeks, how many people are actually putting the work out and putting their voice out there, and not afraid to speak, not afraid to put it out there. That's what's going to get this done. The only way a people are going to defeat a tyrannical situation in the world is through more righteous, moral speech, and putting that out there for other people not to continue supporting these tyrannical measures that we're seeing all over the world. So I'm really glad that you're doing that from Australia, and I commend your efforts, and I wish you luck in continuing doing that.
Oh, well, thank you very much, and I will continue doing it. Because it's after you finish the show, you get a bit of an endorphin hit in a way, because you think you've done good, and
I can confirm that for sure. I can confirm that you feel good. You feel like I've done what I'm supposed to be doing. So it does happen like that. You get that a rush of good feeling, like this is what I'm fulfilling my purpose. I've done what I need to do. I've accomplished that. The work is going to be out there. It works exactly like that, just as you've said.
Yeah, it's because the world can be. The world is a beautiful place, and it's just a lot of people don't see it. You know what I mean? And it's just we're run by a bunch of insert swear word there.
Psychopaths and Satanists. Yeah, exactly. And we need to just take that beautiful place that could be a wonderful center for learning and growth and evolutionary development, and take it back for the purpose that it was really intended for, instead of leaving it in these psychopaths' hands that are going to lead it into ruin and destruction. Alan, thank you so much for the call.
So it's what an agenda like. Okay, no worries, mate.
Okay, thank you for your efforts.
Love your show, love your work, mate.
Absolutely, and I appreciate that.
Okay, mate. As Max says, in Lakesh.
In Lakesh, absolutely. In Lakesh is the thank you, Alan. In Lakesh, for those who don't know, is the it's a Mayan greeting, and it simply means that I'm another you. I recognize myself in you, and you in me. I am another one of yourself, and you are another one of myself. That's essentially what that phrase, that greeting means in the Mesoamerican spirituality. All right, let's see. We're running out of time. We have about 10 minutes, less than 10 minutes left in the show, about 8 minutes. So let's see if I can go back to some people that might have had some technical issues before. Let's hear from Dominic. Dominic, let's see if we can get you on. Are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Now you're coming through. Welcome.
Okay, great. Mark, I'm very happy that I can talk to you right now. I must tell you one thing. This is very important for me. I think what you are doing, all your materials, all your presentations, all your podcast episodes, I think it's the best work I've seen.
Thank you. I appreciate you saying that. Thank you.
Yes, on the whole internet, because you're doing it in a very serious way. We can see that it's very good research, and I don't see it often. And you even said a few times that what you are doing, you're doing it in a very, very good way. And I know when you were saying that, it was really true. I know why you were saying that. And I have to say something about your rage. I think it's great. And it's, it's kind of the most personal message for audience like me on the whole internet. Again, there is no other person who doing it in such a true and honest way like you. And I feel that, you're doing something very personal with us. And I think it's the best way of doing it. So I really like your style.
Thank you.
And yes,
I'm going to try to keep the rage to a subsection and not go on with it, but it is a personal and a righteous indignation that I'm bringing forward when there is an injustice that I really need people to understand and to get that word out there. So I appreciate you saying that you can kind of be in sync, in simpatico with that form of what I would call sacred anger. And I'm glad that you see it for what it is. And it is genuine, heartfelt anger about injustice. And it is letting people see that personal aspect of my whole personality. So, it is definitely a personal dynamic that I'm sharing with people and letting them see a side of who I really am, as, brutal as that could be for some people. It's definitely true and personal. So I want to thank you for recognizing that for what it is and saying that, you feel that it hits home and it helps put the message through and drive it home to where it needs to go. So thank you.
Yes, when I first heard your material about Matrix, I was really excited. I thought, Jesus, this guy really telling the truth. I feel it on even not a logical only level, but also emotional level, that this is truth. Even the way you starting every presentation, nothing is new under the sun, and all those things. I feel, Jesus Christ, this guy really know how to do it. It was really kind of a miracle for me to find you and your materials. I also want to say that I really love your decoding of Matrix, and I really wanted to say also that for me, Keanu Reeves also play in a movie called John Wick.
Oh yeah, and great series.
Yes, and I need to say that John Wick 3 has very interesting occult stuff in it.
It's showing you that really above the organized crime level, the mafia level, if you will, even those capos kiss another ring, right? The occult class is really at the highest level of who's really calling the shots and ultimately controlling all that organized crime. Make no mistake about it. If you make a study of organized crime and mafias, which absolutely everyone should, you definitely have to include in that the connections to the occult world. So I do think that the John Wick series does a fairly good job with that. I'm not a gigantic fan of pure action films, from a constant, chase and shoot perspective. I like more of a philosophical, heavy film, even when it comes to science fiction. But I would definitely recommend the John Wick series for understanding those, or just seeing allegorically those cross connections to the occult world with organized crime and mafias for sure. So.
Yes.
Yep.
And I can say at the end, my site, but it's in Polish because I'm from Poland.
That's okay.
So
you could put it out there if you want.
Yes.
No problem.
Dominic Vald, it's on YouTube, and dominicvald.pl. I said that in Poland because it's in Polish language.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And it's DOMINIKWALD, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Dominic,
So,
I think we're running out of time for the show right now. So any last words to go out on?
Well, I hope I will have a chance to speak to you again.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for the call. Thank you for your kind words. Really means a lot. I appreciate it. And keep up your efforts as well, my friend. Don't give up hope. And we will see you right here next week, everyone. That concludes our call-in show for Fake Ass Anarchists Revisited. Next week, we will begin breaking down the occult tradition of Thelema. So you don't want to miss that one. We'll see you right here next week, everyone. Remember, government is slavery.